rocks. And
And the Borst team throwing
yellow.
yellow at this point, and it looks like they're keeping things fairly clean for the first end.
Yes, it is, Bill. And it appears as though they're playing these new three rock rule that was introduced a couple years ago to quite an extent here.
Well, it's certainly going to come into play, Glenn. As they get a little more comfortable with just what the ice has done, they've been out and had their practice time, but they'll take the first couple of ends to feel the other team out, I'm sure, before anybody gets too aggressive.
Oh, quite so. Yesterday I was down and watching both teams. In fact, there's no slouches here, as we'll get into it a little further and indicate to our viewers what experience these ladies have actually had. Uh, I think over the years, Bill, that you might agree that the experience of the lady curlers in compared to 8 or 10 years ago has drastically improved. And what would be some of the reasons for that?
Well, I think curling in general has become a much more popular sport in Alberta. Uh, the advent of television into curling and success our Canadian curlers have had internationally in the world has played a large part in it, as well as equipment has made a big difference too.
Well, definitely so. And when you take a broad view into the world market and bring it down to the local coaching, education and training and sports psychology that is all involved in a general sport, and bring it down to the individual curler, I think that's where it broadens out to what we have here in the last 2 to 5 years.
I think so, Glenn. That definitely the coaching, the clinics that are put on, the whole aspect of curling in the junior programs, and those junior programs are coming up to our seniors or our men's and women's rinks now, and we're seeing a much better quality of curling.
Very much so. Maybe we should just introduce the teams here, Bill, as they're coming through. Then we can identify to the viewing public the lead, the second, as they're throwing.
Okay,
Uh,
the skip Cathy Borst holding the broom here, and they're throwing the Yellowstones.
and who are the players on Cathy's team?
I think I just made a small error there. I believe this is Cathy Borst to throw her first
Yep.
Yellowstone, her last rocks of the first end. Her third, Maureen Brown, is holding the broom for her at the other end. And the second, Deanne Shields, and lead Kate Horn will be sweeping.
And Cathy's in her delivery on her first broom. It's just going down now on her first rock in the end. Looks like they're on to the 4 foot.
Yeah, it's the most difficult shot in all of curling, what they used to call a free draw.
Now it's the open draw, and there it sits, just biting the button.
Well, she appears to have her draw weight very early in the game. And now we have Tara Brandt holding the broom for Shannon Morris, who's going down to throw her first rock. She has the hammer for the first end. And second for Shannon is also Shannon, but Shannon Hall, and the lead, Crystal McLeod.
Okay, she's taking the out turn here. Probably run a medium knockout. The object is just to stay this trip.
Yeah, the ladies tend to play a pretty controlled weight game. They seldom throw the big weight. She may try to change the shot up just a little bit and give Cathy a little different shot at it.
Yeah, as you were indicating earlier on learning the ice, these first two ends are sometimes quite critical on movement in the ice in unknown areas, and it gives an opportunity to try to steal 1 point or possibly end up with a larger end, a 3 or a 4, which will more or less set the precedence for the next
Well,
2 minutes of the game.
a 3 or 4 would definitely be a very big end, I think, in this level of curling. And they're looking right now to find, if, as you said, any inconsistencies in the ice. If there's a run somewhere or a little fall, they're looking for it in these first 2 ends.
Yeah, that's right. And Kate's coming down with her outturn, same weight. And these knockouts will be very consistent in weight. The timing on them will be just about the same for each knockout.
Yes, they throw their takeouts very consistently, so they know how much that rock will curl as it comes down the ice.
Well, that comes through years of curling with the different members of the team, so that the levels are consistently the same, one player to the other. Um,
And with today's curling, you see most of your curlers, men and women, with stopwatches. They time not only the draw shots, but also the takeouts, so that they know everyone on the team is consistent.
that's right. And the relationship on timing, for example, going from 21 seconds to 22 seconds, is an easier relationship than, say, well, just a little bit harder than the last shot, as it was before the stopwatches came out. So it
Right.
brings it down to more of an exacting sport.
Well, it is. It's become much more exacting.
And that's what she played for, was the blank on the end.
That's right. The girls are sweeping that quite hard to keep the rock from curling. If it had curled, she may have hung around with her shooter and scored the 1 point, which is not the idea. If you have the hammer, you want to score 2 points. If you don't have the hammer or last rock, the object is to steal
That's
1
right.
or more points.
That's some of the strategy we have. Well, maybe while the leads are throwing their rocks down, maybe, Bill, let's talk about some of the strategy here on what the object of the 3-rock rule is with the lead.
Well, it appears here that Cathy's called for Kate to throw one up short of the house on the center line.
And it's just
And,
going down into the button there.
And she's put it into the house. Or her strategy may be, seeing whereas she's trying to steal, is to let the other team make the miss and then put the guards up.
Yes, that's right. But I think essentially they probably wanted the lead to throw up one just a little short of the ring, so that the opportunity to either bump it up or draw behind is all right. But like we were saying earlier, the first 2 ends are kind of familiarity with the ice, learning experience, so into the 4-foot's not a bad idea.
That's right. They're going to be looking to see just how much the ice is curling. Sometimes it'll curl more going one way than it will the other. So that's what they're doing here. They're still feeling the ice out. This is a pretty important game for these ladies.
Well, very much so. They need one of 3 opportunities to reach provincials, either the A, B, or C events. All 3 event winners will progress on to the Alberta provincials.
And I'm not sure if we mentioned it, but we are covering the A event final. These ladies are playing their 4th game in Fort McMurray. They've won 3 games each, and the winner of this game is automatically into the playoffs for Alberta, and the winner of the Alberta playoffs will represent Alberta for the Scott Tournament of Hearts.
That's the progression of it. It starts out at club level, into the zones, and into what we're viewing here, the districts, and from districts to provincials, and from provincials into the Canada-wide. And now we have from Canada-wide into the World Cup, so this is the start of the trail, they say.
That's right. They're partway down the trail, just getting started on it. And delivering now is Deanne Shields, the Borst rink, and once again we see they're playing it pretty clean.
Being cautious, that's a conservative game they're playing.
Yeah, they're not moving the rock around too much. We started over on that side of the ice, and they're staying there.
Yeah. And that's usually part of team strategy that's discussed with the coach. The coach has a strategy in mind that they try to keep the team to, and that has to do with a little bit of observing the previous games of the opposition.
Well, that's
And
right. They're scouting out the other team. They know if there's any weakness on the other team, whether it be a particular turn on a particular sheet or place on the ice. They know which shots to try and make the other team play.
that's right. And if this continues after the second end here, down in the middle of the game with conservative curling, we may see some movement later on into more of a draw game, which will lead to bigger ends or more opportunities for each team.
Well, I think in the third and subsequent ends, we're going to see a more aggressive style of
Mhm.
curling. Um, I
And
mean, it would be ideal for the team that started with the hammer to blank all 9 ends and score 1 point in the 10th end and win the game 1-0, but that score seldom happens.
well, in today's availability here with the three rock rule, that was one of the things put in by the powers to be in the executive committee to try to improve the viewing public's perception of the game, and it will greatly help from that standpoint.
Well, that's right, Glenn. It used to be if at this level of competition, if a team got up 2 points on you, they'd run everything in sight off the ice, and they would continue to hold their lead with only the ability for the opposing team to get 1 point, and they could just simply run you out of rocks for 9 or 10 ends and win the game. And
Mhm.
that's why the three rock rule was put into place to add more technique, I guess, or a different aspect to the game, to allow the team that's down 1 or 2 points to get back in the game and hopefully.
Well, it definitely does. In the three rock rule here, has the availability to the players to exercise all shots rather than just to draw a knockout game. You end up with the raises and the bumps and the rolls and the guards and the freezes. So it covers more of a wider aspect of the game. And this,
It's also much more enjoyable to watch a game that's like that.
well,
To watch people playing the different shots that are available rather than just playing takeout all the time.
that's correct. Okay, we're still playing the knockout game. We're down to third rocks here. Um, so to the viewing public, the rocks going up and down the ice is an indication of what Bill and I have just been discussing. It's kind of watching paint dry. Rather boring. Nothing in the house, nothing happening. Maybe, Bill, here while this is going on, we might be able to fill in a little bit on some previous happenings with each of the players. Um, we have Ruby coming out later on. Um, Maybe in prelude to Ruby coming out, Bill, we might follow down a little bit with what is actually behind the glass. The curlers are all having a great time, from what I understand, and talking to different people, and both from an official standpoint and with the participants. But there's a lot of activity that goes on behind the glass, and it starts out from one year to the next. In our ladies curling club here, Ruby Olson has been a great participant in the ladies curling club over a great number of years here in McDonald Island, and in fact,
Well, Ruby's been a real participant in not only McDonald Island, but I understand she had some curling experience in Edmonton before she came here. In fact, I believe she curled with Kate and Daryl Horn.
yes,
Daryl is the coach of the Cathy Borst rink.
and Kate is her husband. Maybe that's the other way around.
I think that's the other way around.
Okay,
Daryl is Kate's husband.
Daryl's Kate's husband. Yes, they've been through, and Ruby's indicating that Ruby first started back in Edmonton on the NALCA board with
And
caved underneath
for
her.
those of you who were wondering what those initials stand for, that's the Northern Alberta Ladies Curling Association. We'll refer to it as the
NALCA.
NALCA throughout the broadcast.
So Ruby's had a great many years of experience, and after coming up from Edmonton in the mid 70s in curling in the Fort McMurray Club, carried on with that delegation or as a representative, and, and broadened out our ladies curling club with that experience. And right now, underneath of Ruby as a chairman in the Fort McMurray ladies, we have Debbie Mardell. Now, Debbie is the representative for the NALCA here in Fort McMurray, Zone 13. She's a Zone 13 coordinator and actually represents the executive board for the Northern Alberta Ladies Curling Association. And it's through those duties that are delegated down to Ruby now to set out the format that we see here on our monitor.
Okay, thanks, Glenn. Present time, Cathy Borst rolled out with her first stone. And Shannon Morris now is just going to try and draw her rock somewhere on the ice where Cathy won't hit it. Or if she does hit it, she'll roll out of the rings and give Shannon that best of all loved last shots with the hammer, where it's not imperative to really make the shot. She'll be able to.
She's just sliding through there, just a little long on that one.
Just a little quick. Actually, the ice here at McDonald Island this year has been quite good, Glenn. Quite consistent, and I would imagine the ice makers have done a pretty good job of making sure it's in top-notch condition for these playdowns.
Well, that's right. I was talking with Steve, who's the ice maker here, Steve Stritchen and Barry Elward. And they've spent considerable time. I was talking with Steve last night on the number of hours they spend here. It isn't just a matter of coming out and pebbling the ice and away you go type thing. They were out cleaning and scraping, checking out little runs, and actually moved the rocks up on the benches to clean out the side of the hacks and where the rocks sit, so that there is no contamination on the ice from little straws or little broom hairs, that type of thing.
Well, that's right. We don't get near the contamination now with almost no sweepers using the corn brooms. Most of them are using the horsehair brooms, and you'll see here one of our sweepers using one of the newer brooms with a foam or fabric head on it, and with those there's absolutely nothing that could fall out and alter the path of a rock.
Well, that's right, and probably that's going to be the coming thing as the horsehair fades out. There's been numerous occasions during each game where one of those little hair fibers will come loose, and it literally terminates the rock right there. Well, all kinds of funny things.
It causes them to change direction or change turns or something. Shannon Morris here in the hack, and Cathy drew her last rock into the to the 8-foot, and here Shannon is going to try and blank the second end as well. She's hoping to hit and roll out.
So they're just in a cleaning mode right now, keep any debris from the ice, keep the shot on line. And excellent shot.
Excellent shot. She rolls her shooter out to the short side of the house, the shortest distance for the rock to travel, and she caught about half the rock. The weight was a nice controlled weight, and after the second end of play, score in the A final is still 0-0, with Shannon Morris having the last rock or hammer. So we'll see what Borst is going to do here this time, whether she decides to be a little more aggressive and throw up some guards.
This one appears to be a little lighter. It's going to be just over the house here.
And once again, the last shot here of Shannon Morris. You notice the weight is a nice controlled weight, just firm enough to knock the yellow rock out the back of the house and roll her shooter off to the boards.
It's just short of the house, so
Well, it appears that Cathy wants to, she says, let's get started with the game.
yeah, let's get into it. Let's go. Coming in behind. So.
Or as John Forbes would say, let the games begin. So we'll see what Shannon Morris wishes to do here, whether she's going to go with the outside guards, corner guards, because she has the hammer, or whether she'll play to the center of the rings.
No, she's playing right in tight here, Bill, going right behind, looking for top of the 4-foot. So like we were indicating there earlier on, the third and fourth end starts the real curling, and yes, she's getting into it.
Yep, she's not hanging back.
Around the end of the guard there.
She's drawing in. Now with our 3-rock rule, as long as the first 2 rocks or first 3 rocks are out in front of the rings, the first 2 rocks, the opposition cannot remove them from play.
That's correct. They can move it around, but they can't terminate the rock from play.
That's right. If one of those first 2 rocks happens to go in the house, then they can hit it. And it appears here that Cathy says, no, I don't want to play this game anymore.
Now, this is going to be interesting. You have to replace that rock because it was pushed out of play, and the shooter will be removed because it was the rock at fault, shall we call it. So they'll put it back to an approximate position.
That's right. Because that was one of the first 2 stones, it was not in the house. It was removed from play. It has to be put back in the approximately same position.
And the opposing skip has the choice of where to place that rock as near as possible. And in the event of a disagreement between skips on the placement, they'll bring down an official, and that official will then place it to the best of their ability, and play will carry on after that.
And the head umpire for the Playdowns, Glenn, is...
That's our John Forbes. John Forbes has been involved with the club here for a number of years as an official. He has his official certificate. And I see him observing, walking around with his hassle of papers as he does.
Well, it appears here that Shannon is playing to the other side now. She has 1 rock in play. Put the second rock in play, hopefully not setting up the chance of a double. And if all goes according to plan here, there are her 2 points that she wishes to score with having last rock.
That's right. Now, going true to form here, Cathy Morris is playing what we call the open shot in hopes that...
Well, she'd like to hit here and just stick, which just rolls it off the rings. I believe it's just off the rings. It's hard to tell from this angle.
It might be biting, but
it might be one of those little ones that hang around the back of the ring to haunt you sometimes.
We're in a position here, Bill, maybe we should explain to our viewers that we're in the center of the ice, and it's very hard for us to indicate where that rock is.
Yes, that rock is definitely in play, Glenn.
There, the monitor brings it in. But
and here we have Morris Rink. They're going to just throw another draw up on with the out turn.
Yeah, just to get it behind the tee line.
Yeah, they're in the driver's seat here now.
Well, Shannon wants to play that just behind the line.
And that's too bad. She just slipped that one through.
Strategy on that would be not to set up the double and have it far enough behind the tee line to prevent the hit and roll into the button.
Yeah, you notice here the indication. What kind of weight does the skip want thrown? Is it normal? And she's going off after that front guard again.
Yep,
It
now
can
she can remove that guard.
it can be removed now. She's hoping to run that back onto the red stone, and hopefully the yellow will sit too.
Yes.
So an end can change around very quickly, Glenn.
Yeah, very, very quick.
That's a fine-looking shot.
There
Bang,
they
bang.
are. Two there.
And
So that was the problem with that missed red rock. It just had to stay.
that's right. One shot can turn a whole end around, and now instead of Shannon Morris laying two, she's facing two
Looking at
yellow stones.
just one rock turnaround.
And delivering the rock here, Shannon Hall.
She's hoping to get the little flop in behind.
Yeah.
And it's going to be close.
Looks like pretty close.
Fine shot. Fine
What
shot.
would you score that shot, Glenn?
About a 3.
Uh,
Well, that's with the 4-point rule. 2 is being taken it out.
at least a 3, possibly even a 4. She got just about the perfect roll there.
Yeah.
And throwing third stones for Cathy Borst is Maureen Brown. And she's delivering her first rock. Hopefully she's going to run the yellow rock back onto the red. And things will change around again.
She might be just a bit out.
It didn't curl quite enough.
However, it did open it up.
That's right. She's opened the house up now. And
Shannon over on the other side.
well, Morris has two options here. Either she plays the guard on her rock, or she puts another one in play. And she's going with the aggressive route. She's going to draw with the out turn.
Well, Shannon with last rock, she can split the house and have her 2 back.
Right. Tara Brandt delivering her rock here. It's definitely a draw shot, but I think they're going to have to work on this one, Glenn, to get it to the house.
It looks a little light. What would you guess that ice to be running at
Well,
on the stopwatch?
different people time the rocks differently. I'll have to get a time on one of these draw shots, but I would say probably it's running between 23 and 24 seconds, Glenn. That's from the hog line to the tee line.
That's correct. 2 systems of timing, hog to hog or hog to tee. Many of the leads in seconds will run at hog to hog. It's just a preference. One system's not better over the other. Coming down for removal.
Looks like she may have turned that one inside a little bit.
Going to get a small corner.
Is it going to be enough to remove it from play? No, I don't think so. That's an error there on Maureen's part. The first rock she threw, either she was a little wide on the broom or it hung out, and this one she was curled a little too much. And once again gives Morris the opening.
That's right.
And
trying behind that guard now.
if she can get
We're just in a cleaning mode, just a light brush.
Tara looks like she's got a little better weight with this one. The object now is to try to get that rock in behind that guard sitting in front of the house, and I don't think it's going to curl enough.
It'll be in just behind the line. It may give an opportunity on a slight tap or move, but
well, the other problem that one leaves is the chance of drawing to it and freezing to the face of it and making it very hard for Morris to get it out.
That's right. I think they're still in a decision mode here. Cathy has indicated probable draw in behind on a freeze.
Well, different skips feel differently about different shots, and the good thing here you see Maureen and Cathy discussing the shot. They have to look at the options and which is the best option. They're trying to steal a point here.
Well,
And
it looks like she might be able to see nearly all of that rock. It's hard to tell from our angle, but from the broom indication there, it probably says that she can see most of it.
upstairs down the rink to see how much of the rock they can see.
Okay, she's just into her mental mode on rock delivery. Concentration at this time is telling the mind the weight, the angle of the curl, the amount of broom you're taking.
She's getting herself set. I'll see if I can get a time on this draw, Glenn, and then we'll be able to tell from that
Well,
how
this might
keen
be
the ice is.
okay. Very smooth delivery. Excellent release.
Oh,
It's coming down on a tap back.
yeah, she's played good board weight here and hopes to remove the red stone from the back of the rings. Looks like a fine shot. And rolls her shooter over onto the 4-foot.
Yeah.
At this point, Shannon Morris coming down to throw her first rock. The goal here is just hit that rock and stay in the rings. Exchange rocks with Cathy
And up 2 points.
get her 2 points with the last rock. Third, Tara Brandt pulling the broom. Shannon getting ready for her first shot of this end. And as you said, you can see the concentration. She's getting the shot set in her mind before she ever shoots it.
Coming down at the in turn. Kind of a closed hand release. Cleaning mode for the sweepers. Slight
Okay.
brush. Very good.
And she's trying to roll the rock over in behind the guard a little bit. An excellent shot there.
Well, what that did, Bill, was kind of slow down that little bump and roll in behind that guard. The more roll she could get over there, the better it would be. But, it looks like the broom's going to be the same shot as she had last time on that one. So.
Yeah, I think so. Well, we won't look for Cathy to miss this. Thanks to Ruby, we just got some notes here.
We'll
Cathy
follow through here, Bill. First, we'll finish out this end, and then it's rather a crucial end. First time points are going to be hung up, and it looks like
well, if all goes according.
Shannon's are lined up for 2.
Well, if Cathy can get with the quiet weight, can just hit that, she might be in pretty good shape. She's throwing a fair bit of weight. The rock's got a fair bit to curl.
It's hanging.
She's going to get a piece of it, enough to remove it from the rings. And that'll give Shannon a draw shot anywhere in the house. As long as she's got half a rock on the 12-foot, she'll score her 2 points.
Maybe some of our viewers can hear the whoa and the yeas and hurry type thing. Actually, the Borst and Morris rinks are quite quiet.
Yeah, they're not real vocal. Both Cathy and Shannon have indicated a couple of times. I've heard them indicate that rock should be swept, and you can tell in the urgency in their voice just how much they want the sweepers to put the effort into it. If the shot's pretty close to the mark, they're not too urgent.
Well, they as a team, some teams are extremely vocal and others are very quiet. So it's just the way the team relates to one another.
All right, Shannon, very nice draw weight, just the back of the 4-foot, for her 2 points. So Shannon Morris will be the first to put points on the scoreboard with 2 in the third end. And now the last rock advantage will switch over to Cathy Borst.
Well, we'll see what kind of a game she's going to play here in the fourth end. I'm not going to be surprised if they want to be a little aggressive too. Here we come down with that a replay. As you can see, the sweepers are just judging the weight, prepared to sweep. Actually, on these, Bill, the sweepers are usually the judge of the weight. Well, Skip is the line caller.
That's right. The skip and third call line generally on rocks. It's up to the lead and second or whoever's sweeping the rocks to determine the weight of the rock. And here you see Shannon is elected to throw the guard up in front of the rings. I think that rock might have been a little lighter than she really wanted it to be. They like it fairly close to the rings. This gives Cathy Borst now a chance to go around it.
Yes.
And that's lead Kate Horn on the Cathy Borst rink. It's her husband Daryl, who is the coach of the ladies, and looks like her draw weight is pretty nice. That one should come to rest fairly close to the tee line.
Maybe, Bill, we should talk about some of Kate's experiences here. A great vast of experience here are indicated from both sides, from both teams. Cathy is a former junior champion, actually, Bill. She's back in 84, 85, was a junior champion. Great vast of curling there. She's been in the ladies provincials in 94. She's been in the mixed 91. She's actually curled with Fred McKenzie. So that's some of Kate's experience on that.
Yeah, you can hear there Shannon Morris. I guess she is a little vocal, Glenn.
She come through that time.
She was letting us know that she wanted that rock swept, trying to get it by the guard.
That ice is running about 22 and a half or 23 there, wasn't it?
Well, I got 22.5 on that draw. We'll time a couple more here and see. That's not as quick as it can be or has been. And we'll see with Kate's second rock. She's throwing a draw here again.
Just trying to place a guard top of 12.
Well, I'm sure that if that rock was to curl in behind that center line guard now and be partially hidden, she wouldn't mind that a bit, but it's got a long ways to curl. Now she's going to try and freeze it to the face of the other one, which is quite a good strategy. That rock was 23.8 seconds. And now it puts the pressure on Morris here to try and get the double, or at least to remove one of them and leave a red stone up front.
Fair amount of weight. Running a little straight.
Shannon Hall is the second.
Shannon is actually another one of those junior world champions also. In 1991, she curled with Tara. Tara Brandt is a representative for Alberta, Canadian championships.
There's no shortage of curling experience on either of these rinks, Glenn.
Well, that's true. That's what we were indicating before. The level of the ladies curling has really improved in the last 10 years specifically, but closing up into the last 5, mainly due to professional coaching qualities. Coaching clinics start within the club. The clinics are managed by people with world experiences, and it just has to come down to the local club level.
Well, that's right, and the level of curling has definitely, I feel, improved, Glenn, over the years.
Very much.
the number of years that we've been curling here in Fort McMurray. In fact, I know our junior ladies and men's rinks have showed me a lesson or two once or twice.
Some of Randy's bookkeeping is coming down to us older fellas, shall we call it?
That's right. And that rock delivered there by Deanne Shields. And yellow laying 2 again. Only she would like to have had that rock a little bit in behind cover, just a corner of it showing out behind that guard up on the center line. But
Bill, that ice is running really straight there. Those guards coming in asked for at the top of the house. They're just not finishing.
Well, that's right.
Straight.
They're running quite straight. It's might not be possible for them to hide it in there.
Well, it's a little scary on the guard. They don't want to play it too tight and rub that one that's off there now.
Well, that's right. If they were to rub that guard with 2 rocks already in the house, it would show the opportunity for them to throw the 3rd rock in the house and possibility of a big end.
That's right. Let's watch this rock come down. She has about a foot and a half or 2 feet of ice for a guard. Just wants to leave a little bit of it showing out around the top of that red one. Touch the house or just in front of it.
Yeah, and this is Deanne Shields, a student at the University of Alberta, throwing her 2nd rock. She has experience as well. Last year, 1994, she went to the provincials in ladies. And she actually curled against Shannon Morris, Tara Brandt in juniors.
These ladies are known to each other here for a number of years, so the people are not new, the game is not new. They know their own strengths and weaknesses.
And they know the strengths and weaknesses of the opposition. They've been, once they reach this level, they've curled against each other once or twice before. Ooh, this could be, oh.
Just got it.
That rock certainly curled. Whether they cut the ice down a little bit or the weight down for that takeout, Glenn, she almost missed out on the inside.
Cathy's still playing for that guard.
Well, she's in the position here to get her 2 points. She's got 1 in the house already. Just keep covering it up, and with her last stone, she can put the 2nd point in the house. There's 3rd Maureen Brown.
Maureen's coming down.
See her watching the line on the rock to make sure that it's taking the correct path down the ice, and just if it's going to curl too much or not enough. That's a fine looking stone.
Yes, it is.
She's left quite a bit of separation between the 2 rocks, which makes a double very difficult.
Okay, we have Tara delivering her rock here. Tara's a 91 junior champion. She was actually the skip of that rink. 91.
See, she looks like this rock's curling a little bit. She's hoping to get the double. And she does.
So,
excellent shot.
Beautiful rock.
And that puts Morris in the driver's seat here. If Cathy doesn't hit this rock and stay, it gives Morris a chance to draw in behind.
Run down.
See this?
Just brushing it just to keep it clean. Excellent call. Nice line on that.
Yeah, the important thing there is to know what angle you have to hit the rock at for the double.
Oh, just viewing it all the way down. It was just beautiful.
And Maureen gets a little bit too much roll here.
Yeah, she was just hoping to roll over in front of that red.
Yeah, to make it a little harder to remove it.
She rolled just a rock width too far. Actually, Marine's been in the provincials a few times too.
Yes, in ladies as well as mixed.
Okay, we're
Yeah.
getting ready for Shannon's first rock here. Decision on where to put it.
Well, she's wondering, I think, just how much ice she has to get in behind that guard, or whether she should go with the other turn. Tara seems to be indicating that she should go with the in turn, which they haven't thrown this end, but from practice and the second end of play, they know how much the rock will curl.
It was
And
a good choice here, Bill, for the choice to come around on the other side of the rock, which indicates that if you leave a little bit stick out, you'll roll to the outside of the house away from Shannon's present rock on the other side.
well, that's right. It makes the possibility of a double a whole lot less likely. So
Decision making here is key on placement.
that's right. She'd like to place this right on the tee line, either completely hidden or just with a piece of it sticking out.
Shannon is also the provincial ladies before. She won juniors in 1990 in the finalist. And actually won the A and B side, and then as curling would have it with the 3 events, she lost out in the C to Hanfield.
And she's got a nice looking rock here. It didn't really finish. It didn't hide for her.
Well, it's in the front of the forefoot though, and it's going to cause Cathy, it's going to be tight around that guard to get that little flop, but
That's right.
back weight or back ring weight enough to remove it will allow her that opportunity.
Cathy will have to play really quiet weight here. The idea here is to get the little bit of a flop over onto that center line behind the guard. And make it very difficult for Shannon to remove it. See Cathy getting her mindset here, making sure that the running surface of the rock is clean. She wants no debris, any ice or build up on it, or anything that may be on the bottom of the rock to alter the path of it.
Straightforward shot here. There wasn't any discussion between the lead and second. Sometimes you get into that.
Yeah. Well, it's pretty straightforward. She plays the quiet weight. Maureen's watching the line.
Moving.
Just get by the guard. A little bit of a roll to the inside. Oh, maybe too much. She'll have to sticking out the other side. And that'll give Shannon the chance to roll the other way.
Actually, Bill, in fairness to Cathy, that was the first out turn knockout thrown on that side, so she never had a chance to view the amount of curl that that rock would have, because the sweepers actually never swept here until the last third of the way or quarter of the way.
That's right, and so she'll file that away in the memory banks, I'm sure, and as to how much that rock curls for the future ends, and may not make that mistake twice.
Shannon wants a little bump and roll, of course, to get it to the other side of the house.
And she's throwing the out turn, so that she has to come across the face of the rock.
See it straighten out there. We were talking before, that little...
Yeah, that runs pretty straight there. She's got a nice rock, but it's a nose hit.
Roll. So it comes for the first half of the delivery, and then the remaining half of the delivery, it actually straightens out and just runs straight down.
That's right, but she's left Cathy with a straight takeout.
Is there a double possibility there, Bill?
Well, I don't.
Tight?
I don't know if I'd play it this early in the game, Glenn. Take your 1 point and
don't have to gamble yet.
because a steal of 1 or 2 here would be a pretty big lead. So you don't want that to happen.
Take your 1 point.
Yeah, take your one and steal the next end. Possibility is always there now for the steal with that three guard rock rule. Cathy's just saying for them to clean it.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's got the shot. The nose hit. Yellow scores 1. And after 4 ends of play now, the score is 2-1. Okay, we'll just look at that shot again, Glenn.
Yeah, bring that down.
Sweeper's coming down. Notice the one sweeper with the horsehair broom, the other one with the fabric. Just keeping the front of the rock clean so nothing gets in the way.
Yeah. They brushed it fairly vigorously in the first half of the delivery, and then as it come into that straight line run, it just straightened out, followed straight down. That was a nice shot.
Yeah, that's the kind of rock sweepers like to follow, where they don't have to work too hard.
Well, I don't know, Bill. You've been on the skip end, and you don't realize the pressure us poor sweepers have to go through.
Well, yes, I do. It's I know it's a tremendous amount of pressure for the sweepers, Glenn. There's a great deal of technical skill and knowledge to know the weight of those rocks. Sometimes, though, you get started sweeping and you don't like to stop.
Okay.
Okay. Here we go.
Okay, we're going to go around the guard here. We're going to take a break just for a moment or two, and we'll return to you in about a minute.
Okay, and the fifth end will continue.
I always wanted to start my own company. I had a solid business plan, I had the determination, I had the confidence, and I had the experience. But when I went to the banks, the doors just seemed to slam shut. I couldn't believe the roadblocks. I got so angry and frustrated. Don't they know that most businesses started by women are successful and we pay back our loans?
Hi, I'm June Callwood. The frustrations experienced here are felt by women in developing countries too, only the roadblocks are even greater. USC Canada is making a difference, supporting credit and loan programs for women in developing countries. These women are expert at making a little go a long way for themselves and for their communities. Help give credit where credit is due. Please support USC Canada, 56 Spark Street, Ottawa.
Okay, here we are back. We're back, McDonald Island.
Yes.
The fifth end of play in the A final of the ladies' playdowns.
And we have Kate coming around with an in-turn draw.
Third rock of the end.
Just a little tap back, a little rub over, trying to poke the red rock delivered by Crystal McLeod for Shannon Moore. She just tried to just poke that out the other side of that guard a little bit.
Well, I'm not sure whether she might not have been just a little heavy on that, Glenn. Whether she may have been just trying to freeze to the face of it on the corner to be able to remove it with her next rock.
Just wanted to be there. Real close was the real idea behind it.
Crystal McLeod delivering her second stone.
Crystal is one of those people, Bill, that we talked about earlier. She's into that physical therapist as her occupation.
Yes,
she was actually a champion that curled with Gloria Polinska in '94.
That's right. Crystal works in the Edmonton Sport Institute, which I believe is run by Dr. Randy Gregg. Some people may recognize that name.
I think you were talking about an elbow, and I was talking about a knee that she could help us out.
We have some old war wounds that we were hoping that maybe she could fix up for us.
Diana's delivering her rock. Just another one of those finesse shots. Just a slight tap.
Yeah, she wants to just touch this one and move it back a bit. The sweeper's just staying close to it. She just wants to try and just tap it back, leave a corner of her rock showing, and then she can remove it with her next stone. We're getting into a little bit more aggressive style of curling here than we saw the first couple ends clip.
Well, that's right. We're getting in the middle of the game, the heart of it, shall we call it. You want to stay close to the other team, to your opposition.
That's right.
It's like a chess game. You finesse for the last end.
Yeah, and Cathy's down 1 point here. She's trying to steal with the yellow.
Well, that's the reason for those slight tap backs, just to be around. You don't want to leave anything open too much.
That's right. Shannon Hall throwing her rock here. And she's just trying to remove that. That may turn out to be
well,
quite a miscue.
Yeah, it runs straight there, Bill.
Well, it does. And if you're up with your weight at all, or if you happen to have been a little outside the broom, it doesn't give much room for error.
That's right. Well, through the years, that spot of the ice is normally run straight from some of those old-time curlers. And,
well, there seems to be a pipe down there that may not have the correct brine temperature in it or something, but it's a nice spot to sit a rock if you can, or just off it to make it difficult for the opposition to remove it.
That's right. Well, Cathy's going to throw up a little guard here. Try to come in to set up the next shot is what she's really after. She's playing for the shot after this.
That's right. She's playing for the steal here.
Yeah. She's going to bring this down close so that she can raise it up next time.
Well, I think with the weight, she looks like she may be able to try to tap it just a little bit now.
She could be over there. She wanted to set it up to try to keep Shannon from moving around too much.
That's right. She could have been trying to tap that one just a little bit, tap the red rock back just a little bit further, leave the two yellow rocks up. But this is a pretty tough-looking shot here for Shannon Hall. She'd like to try and remove both those yellow rocks. I'm not sure if they're close enough if she was to hit the outside corner, whether she can run them out or not. Here comes Tara down to have a look at it as well. There is a possibility if she catches that outside yellow stone where Tara's got her broom on the outside, that she could peel both of them out of there and leave the red rock sitting right where it is.
You can move that red back a bit.
Well, that wouldn't hurt it. No, that wouldn't hurt it a bit either.
But from Shannon's point of view, it's starting to look a little too many yellowish, and she's going to have to just move them around a bit.
Shannon wants to make sure if she's got the hammer, she's going to count her 2 points.
Yeah.
If she can get 2 points here, that'll put her at 4 to 1. Give her a fairly commanding lead. Yeah, it looks like Shannon's going to throw the hit. We'll see how much weight she's throwing here.
She's fairly firm.
And they're sweeping it. I don't think they want it to curl too much. She wants to hit the outside corner of the rock.
Portion.
Oh,
Quite enough.
She got it, but the other important point there was the shooter hung around.
Actually, Bill, that's not that bad. It's really Cathy's.
And here's that shot again with Shannon's. The sweepers are sweeping it quite vigorously, trying to keep the rock straight. And it just rubs the yellow. She'd like to have had her rock out about another 2 inches on that, but then the shooter would not have stayed in the rings. And Cathy's calling for Maureen Brown's first shot, an out-turn hit. She'd like to roll her shooter across and, if possible, move that red stone and behind the yellow just out into view a little bit.
Yes, try to get it into play there, into the center of the ice so you can use it next time.
Looks like
It's running quite straight.
quite straight. The rock's not curling like they expected it to. In fact, she's going to hit it on the outside corner.
A lot of play. Okay. Looks like there might be room there on the inside with the in turn.
Well,
just to bring it in and stop in the front.
There's room on with the in turn to tap it back. Hopefully enough weight to move the redstone back. But
well, Shannon just wants to place one out front. If she can steal one here, she would be.
Well, Shannon has the hammer here. She wants to go for 2 points, but she wants to protect that red rock on the 4-foot. So she'll call Tara just to throw one up front. And put the emphasis on Cathy. Let her make the shot.
Let her make the mistake. Yeah. Okay, they're working it quite hard. Calling the sweep fairly vigorously here. Might be a little light.
Yeah, Tara was maybe a little light with that one. Oh, that's
Still
fine.
guarding it up. Yeah.
Yeah, that pretty much blocks it off. It looks like Cathy might be content to let Shannon have the 1 point
I think
this
so.
time.
With that call,
Yeah.
that might be her intent. Well, just say, okay, Shannon, we'll give you your 1 this time, but we won't give you 2.
That's right. We'll let you have the 1. Give us the last rock next end. We'll come back and get our 2 on you. And sometimes that's a call that has to be made by a skip, Glenn.
Yeah.
Or possibly 2. Depends on where this rock ends up, where Maureen puts it. It might be the possibility of using it later on. The end is definitely not over yet.
It's hanging out a little bit too.
It's starting to come there now. And she's just closing off the 4-foot and saying, okay, Shannon, you can have your 1 point. Because it means that, although I think with the in-turn draw, there's still room for her to get her 2nd point. She'll have to be biting the 4-foot to get 2. And she'll throw this rock with Tara to see just how much it curls. Tara threw the guard up with her first rock, and she's trying to come around that now to get a piece of the 4-foot.
Sweeper just keeping it clean.
And she might. Looks like pretty nice weight.
Yeah, it's coming. It's looking beautiful.
Oh,
she doesn't go behind the line.
That's a nice shot, right on the tee line.
Yeah, in behind the guard. Nice rock.
She's the only option that Cathy has here is to throw exactly the same shot with 6 inches more weight.
Let's watch this shot again.
Okay, Tara knew the weight to throw. She'd just thrown that guard up on the center line. She knew she needed just a little bit more weight. They knew how much it would curl.
Now it's just finishing and starting to move. Sweepers sweep as it's finishing and enabling that rock to come right around behind.
Yeah,
nice rock.
And she's sitting right on the tee line. No chance of a double for Cathy Borst. Shannon is playing this end aggressive. If they can do that 1 or 2 more times, or if Cathy was to somehow miss this one, could be a big end. And they're taking a little more ice, Cathy wants. She thinks that her rock may curl a little more than Shannon's did.
Well, it's in the delivery right at the release.
That's right.
Determines more movement or less movement than the other.
As well as the spin that's put on the rock. Some people throw a rock that spins more than others. And Cathy looks like she's got nice weight. Just, will the rock finish and come in enough for her?
It's coming down nice, though.
Oh, but I don't think it's exactly what she wanted. This gives Shannon a chance here.
Yeah, hung out there just a little bit with that extra 2 feet of weight or so.
Yeah, she had the weight to push the red stone back. I think maybe she had the broom in the right place the first time and shouldn't have taken that little bit of extra ice.
Let's watch it again. It's coming down. It's not finishing due to the weight. She
Yeah,
had to have enough weight to move it off shot. Very difficult around that guard.
yeah, she had to play that guard very tight, and she indicated she wanted about 4 inches more ice with, and that was how much outside she was. Now Shannon can come down there with just tap back weight. She can hit that yellow and flop right in onto the button.
Yes, she needs about a rock roll towards the button. And that will fairly well close that off, and
Well, that
it'll
puts,
become very difficult for Cathy to do something with her last
that's
draw.
right, that becomes almost a Hail Mary. She's going to have to throw a raise or something because there'll be nowhere for her to draw.
She can't use that other guard that was raised up, or placed in front there earlier.
No, that's a pretty long raise. And Shannon just wants to tap Cathy's rock out or back a little bit and roll her shooter in towards the button.
Sweeper's keeping it clean. Okay, they're calling for the sweep.
Oh,
Back off again. Must be close.
no, she thought it was going to curl. Looks like it's hanging out. She's not going to get the roll. She's going to get the nose hit.
That's it, yeah.
And that opens the opportunity up for Cathy Borst to try the same shot. In fact, it's wide open now. She can hit and roll her shooter in towards the center and hopefully steal a point.
We might want to remember this rock here, Bill. It could be a turning point. If she gets this roll,
well, that's right.
she's going to be in the game. If she don't get the roll, it could be a turning point.
That's right. If she plays this shot perfectly and gets her Yellowstone in there to the button, looks like she's going to play just draw weight. Hopefully, maybe a lit. Maureen's indicating just a rub off that rock. And
okay, we'll come down. Review. See, with a little extra weight on there, Bill, it's not quite finishing like she expected.
That's
it's
right.
Just running straight. It doesn't hardly curl there with that back ring.
That's right.
Weight.
She just had enough weight to remove that and didn't curl as much as she thought it might have. We'll see what Cathy does here. Maureen was studying the rocks, the angle that she has to just touch that red rock on the edge of the 4-foot.
She'll come down with back 4 weight or back 8-foot weight, just enough to get that little flop. She needs about a rock and a half flop in. And she just, in the preparation here,
That's
concentration.
Right. That's
very
right.
much so.
That's a very big shot.
It has to be there.
This is why the rest of the team says the skip makes the big bucks.
Okay, the line is coming good. She has enough weight to move it.
Yeah, it looks like
I don't know if it's curling
pretty
enough.
nice. It should finish. The line looks really good. It's starting to finish there now.
Gonna have the weight.
Oh, I think it's a fine looking shot.
It's coming down nicely. Excellent
Oh,
rock.
perfectly played.
Excellent rock.
And now that puts a little bit of pressure on Shannon. She and Tara having a look at it there to see.
Let's watch it again here. It's coming down. Just finish
Sweepers are working on it just to get the weight a little bit of a flop in behind. I'm not sure whether she has shot rock.
We'll hold that angle. Yeah, it's very close. And it looks like if she does want to raise, come down with her rock and chip off her own red onto the yellow will come off the back of the one.
It may have. She's indicating
close.
that there to Tara, wondering what the percentage of the shot is.
Can't quite
I
see.
think
Reddish shot.
No, that's good.
Red shot by about 1.5 inches, 2 inches. She might be just as well to concede one here.
Well, this
take her 1 point and see what that choice is.
We'll see how aggressive Shannon wants to be. Is she a gambler, or is she conservative?
It's early yet, Bill. You know, this is only in the middle of the game.
Well, this is the 5th end. If she was to make this shot, though, she would possibly count 3, and that That
Well,
would
be
give
a
her
big-
a 5-1 lead. If she gets her 1 point here, it means a 3-1 lead. It could be a big swing.
Well, on Cathy Borst's position, if she was to have this yellow one moved up and count the 1 point and end up with a tie game, that would be a very upswing for her team.
Well, that's right. She made a very nice shot there. It just had to come another 2 or 3 inches, and she'd have had shot rock.
She might have to move that red one on an angle raise with very delicate weight.
That's
Quite a choice here.
That's a very tough choice.
Tie game or 4 up.
That's right. I think if she moves that yellow, it's going to hit the red rock,
The back of the red rock.
and
shot.
she'll have to hit it hard enough to move it out of the rings, and she'd only have her 1 or 2 points anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be interesting to see what Shannon calls here. This is where the experience under pressure comes into play. And these girls have been in this position before.
Many times, Bill, we're not running game time clocks. I was informed by Ruby that these clocks they're actually over in the junior games that's going on right now over in Dawson Creek. The provincial time clocks are over there, so we're not running a time on the 2-hour time limit per game.
Also, the time is not so critical. They can take the time to discuss the shot. Looks like Shannon's going to go for it. It's a pretty gutsy call.
Well, it is, very much. They've chosen that option to be aggressive. Let's try to open up the scoreboard a little bit here. She'll probably come down with hack the board weight.
We just can't
brewing
hear
much.
what she's saying. She's gone back down to talk to Tara and discuss it again.
It's wide open. The guard's not in play.
Well, that's right. It's just where she's got to hit that red stone. Looks like Shannon's indicating that she wishes to call a timeout.
Timeout.
I'm sure they'd love to have Pat Ryan here to show them the angle and just exactly where they have to hit that rock. But
Well, they're asking for Colin to come out. They're going to have a little coaches meeting.
and see what.
Both. Let's review the last shot here, Bill, and see what's going to happen.
Okay, while they're
during
taking
this.
their time out, take a look at Cathy's last rock.
She wants to be able to come off the side of the red rock and flop over to the button side.
And she's her weight is almost perfect here. The sweepers get on it now as it starts to curl, and it does exactly what it's supposed to do. It's
Not
but it's
quite enough weight to be shot.
That's right, 3 inches short, but it makes a pretty ticklish situation for Shannon with her last rock as to what she's going to do to try to get 2 points.
Shannon's coach, Marilyn Morse, happens to be mum.
Yeah,
Marilyn
she's followed these girls through the junior ranks, and now she's up into the ladies, coaching them.
Yes. Marilyn is actually an executive director for the NALCA, coordinator for technical programs both on and off the ice. Marilyn has been around for a number of years, passing on those years of experience through the coaching and directing and being a part of the top executive, and the opportunity to move that knowledge down into the next level of curling is what the game is all about, and that's one of the reasons for our excellent quality of teams that we have here in the last 5 years.
Well, that's right, and the quality just keeps going up. But we'll see where Tara is holding the broom. It looks to me, I would say, that Shannon's going to come with pretty firm weight with an in-turn there, strike her own rock onto the yellow, hopefully stay, and count 3 points.
Yeah, she wants to try to position that shooting rock right in the middle of the yellow and the red, split the yellow out.
And if she can do that, it's an excellent shot, but it is also one that could backfire. But
Well,
if
she's
it does
given up
back,
one is all, if it doesn't
well,
work out.
that's right. If it does backfire, it means it's a tie game. If she makes the shot, she's up 4 points.
Okay, they're just cleaning it. Not a firm knockout, just
No, she just wants to
quiet
move it out.
board weight. It's hanging,
Uh,
Bill.
no, I think either she was a little wide on the broom there or it hung out.
I think it might have hung because not much ice and it just runs right straight.
Well, that's probably the best
You know,
miss that she could have had, Glenn. If she'd have been inside with that and just rubbed her redstone, she'd have pushed the yellow in for 1 point.
Yeah.
So if
watch that down here again. It's running straight. Sweepers are right off of it.
that's right,
Waiting for movement.
it just didn't curl.
No. Yes.
And
okay, we
looks of
went
things
through.
there. Red counts 1. Morris takes a lead now of 3-1 after 5 ends of play. And we're at the 5th end break. The McDonald Island staff will clean the ice,
Have an
and the
opportunity to.
teams will meet with their coaches and discuss what kind of strategy they're going to use for the next 5 ends.
Yes. So with the 5-end break here, that it gives the coach an opportunity to meet with their team 2 times, one on a timed call that can be put in at any time on the skip's discretion. Okay, we're going to go into a short break here, Bill, for a bit.
Yeah, we'll come back with action on the 6th end when they resume play.
Après Sport, Fort McMurray's premier sports bar. We have it all. Over 27 feet of pure sports and trivia entertainment with 2 satellites bringing you the games from around the wide world of sports. Come and try the interactive trivia network as you take on the world. With lots of in-house prizes and a menu that'll satisfy everyone, come in to Après Sports in the Tide Center across from Piano.
Welcome back to McDonald Island.
And we're back here in the 6th end. We just finished our mid-break, and we have Shannon Morris throwing her leads second rock.
And the Shannon Morris rink leading the score 3-1.
Okay, Bill, we were talking earlier on the strategy of the games and getting into it. We started it in the 3rd end, and it'll continue like this now, seesaw back and forth. Cathy will try to place her rocks in a stealing position so that she can try to get these 2 back, and that'll be foremost in her mind, 1 at a time or 2 at a time to try to get back into the game. And of course the strategy for Shannon is going to be more open, try to prevent the Borst rink from that steal. So they'll be playing a more knockout game, Bill.
Yeah. Well, Cathy has the hammer this time. Supposedly, the way the game is supposed to go, if you have the hammer, you should score 2 points. If you don't have the hammer, you should be able to steal 1 point. And it's like a chess game. Very often the skips are playing a couple of shots ahead of what the shot that's actually being played to, and we'll have to see what happens. That 2 points that Shannon Morris scored in the 3rd end may be a big 2. So far, the other ends have been 1 point each.
Yeah, very well balanced. The vocal technique is coming up a little more. Tensions are coming. Just a slight tick on that.
Yeah, and I mean, she was playing that pretty tight. She wanted to hit and roll into the center. See, Cathy, looks like the temperature out here is getting to her as it is probably to us. She's put her jacket on.
Well, when you come in out of the warm and back out again, it's changed.
Well, also, when you're skipping, Glenn, there's not the activity that there is with the other 3 members of the rink. You're not sweeping, you're not back and forth down the ice. It's a little bit cooler for the skip to stand there.
Okay, Diane is delivering her rock here. Coming down, she's actually playing a little bump back to try to position her rock back into the forefoot. Diane is coming down just without turn, nothing
Well,
happened.
looks like she's got lots of weight on that.
Well, it's going to move it back just about right. Little long.
Well, she got a nice nice split there. If she'd have hit that dead on, I think she might have put it out of the rings.
Well, good separation on it, though. So.
Well, there is, but it allows for that hit. She's indicating the hit and roll towards the center. Hopefully roll onto the forefoot.
Well, she's taking the open one, the one most likely to have a success on this little hit and roll. If she was to go to the other side, all she would do is possibly remove it and then roll out in the open anyway. So with this turn, she can hit and roll in.
And it's partially hidden.
Yep.
And we'll see what Tara does here. She's throwing the in turn. Shannon's saying just clean it. It's running pretty straight. She may not get the roll she wants. Well, they're sweeping it now.
Keep it right there.
And the expression on Tara's face tells us a whole lot.
They never had the movement there on the ice that they were hoping for.
No, she was hoping that rock would curl about another inch or inch and a half, and she'd have had a perfect shot rolling it right in behind.
It's coming down there.
See, they're not sweeping it hard.
Trying to get that rock
just cleaning it. And Shannon gets ready to try and move it into the center.
Bill, that kind of weight is what you call the controlled knockout, where the sweepers have an opportunity to either work it or not. There's time to allow that movement to happen.
Well, that's right, Glenn. It's a very nice weight to play with. As you said, the sweepers can control what the rock is going to do, how much it's going to curl or not curl, depending on how hard they sweep it.
The weight on both teams have come down here on trying to obtain the perfect rock.
Well, and that was a pretty nice looking rock by Maureen Brown.
Excellent rock.
She's got the roll in behind the center line guard, and now
Shannon's indicated just board weight, so it'll be that slower knockout.
Yeah, just enough to take it out. The other option she has here, depending on how much the outturn draw would come around her red guard, and play it tight, Glenn. If she wicks the guard, she opens it up. If she gets by, she can sit in there to possibly steal a point.
Well, Shannon has doesn't have last rock. Those 2 yellow ones in behind the guard. She might want to actually play an open here.
Well, it looks like she's indicating to run that guard.
Well, you have the opportunity to run on the back onto one of those back yellow ones.
If she angles it, it could be a very nice shot.
So it's either or here. You get a little luck, it'll work, but primarily to remove the guard.
Well, that's right.
It'll run on back to the back ones.
Open it up if nothing else. And just nice control weight again by Tara.
Yeah, it's moving.
Yes, that's moving quite a bit, more than she certainly wanted it to. But it served its purpose. It opened the rings up. Shot rock is now open, and Cathy has to make a decision here as does she guard it, or does she come in the rings and try and score a little bit larger end. And you see she's pondering what shot to play.
I think she's going to place that out front.
Yeah, I think she'd like to have that rock back up front. And this will be even to a larger advantage for her because it'll be a yellow rock up front. It won't do Shannon any good to run it back.
That's right.
And Maureen just trying to throw the guard up front.
I think she wants to be fairly close to the house here to stop the draw around to the forefoot.
Well,
that'd be fairly tight.
That's right. She wants to be close to the house, but not too far back to allow them to
hit that
to
double.
hit it back. But if the closer you are, like that one, that pretty much closes it off, I think, and doesn't give Shannon much opportunity.
Well, with Shannon's first rock coming down here, the opportunity for 2 steal for the yellow is looking greater. So with
actually,
Cathy's first,
the yellow has hammer here too, Glenn. They could
Yeah.
possibly get 3.
that's what he's, yeah.
And that'd be a real big turnaround. That would put the red down 1 point. A difference of 2 points in the game. And looks like Shannon is going to try the same shot Tara tried. She's going to try and run the yellow back and split them off.
Keep the front open.
Well, keep the front open, and if she makes this, fantastic shot. It can
Not
get
a bad
her.
choice here.
That's
Yeah,
right.
Not a bad
I
choice
think,
to
I
keep
think
that
it's the choice to make. As you say, the game's not over yet. This is only the 6th end. There's 4 more ends to play.
Well, like we were saying before, you want to keep close.
That's right.
Coming down with firm weight, clean on the sweepers. Looks to be hanging out in that run there that was there before,
Oh,
Bill.
yeah,
Running
she
awful
might
straight.
be. No, she's just wide. But Tara's rock curled a little too much. Shannon's rock not quite enough. I wonder, Glenn, you've curled a number of games on these sheets over the years. Could there be a difference in the rocks they're throwing?
A little bit. I think the difference will show up more so in draw rock than the knockout.
Well, that's right, it will.
Just coming down on this replay,
Yeah.
just
Yeah, if she'd
almost.
if
you
that
know.
rock had curled another inch, she had it.
I think there's a line there, Bill. You remember back a couple ends, they were throwing on that line just a little bit on the outside of that, and it runs awful straight.
Yeah.
And then you just come inside that rock, and then it seems to curl in a normal amount of
Well, that's
6 to 8
right.
inches.
There
so
seems to be a point there where it runs straight, and once it comes off that line, it'll curl really well.
Well, back onto the rocks that you can feel a difference on. A little bit on delivery on the knockout will probably make more difference than a difference between each rock, but difference in rocks will be more so on the real light taps, or specifically on draws where you may need another second, half a second of weight on one rock compared to the other for curling line.
And Cathy just throwing up the guard again with her first rock.
Back on that difference in rocks, Bill was talking with Ruby, and Steve does have these sheets 9, 10, 11 very close in matching rocks. We had a professional in here a couple of years ago to number these rocks. They are quite close, actually.
Actually, they are, Glenn. Sometimes people like to blame misses on rocks, but
That's only the losing team.
well, that's right. That's right. Or the skips sometimes will do that, but it's only the skip rocks that are ever different.
Well, that's true. We haven't had any indication in this game. They've run
No,
quite true.
that's right, and
movement.
they practiced with the rocks before the game. They know what they're going to do.
Okay, we moved that rock of Cathy's right down in. It does provide a better opportunity for 2, and it might have come closer than what she actually wanted it.
Yeah, I
She
think,
wanted to hang it out short.
yeah, just a biter on the
Yep.
front. But there's also a psychological advantage to putting that rock in there too. It puts the pressure right on Shannon Morris, and Cathy's looking at her and saying, "Okay, young lady, how are you going to handle looking at 3?"
Well, Shannon's going to down and hopefully for a double and then stay at the top. It'll shorten the draw to the 4 foot down a little bit.
That's right. She's throwing fairly good weight with this one.
Quite firm. Coming down, it's running straight there again.
It's running quite straight. Now they want to sweep it just a little bit. She gets the 1 and leaves Cathy with laying 2 and a draw anywhere
Inside
into the
12.
8-foot or better, and she's got 3 points. And
Let's review that rock here. It's coming down. It's just hanging there. They're sweeping it, try to get a double on them.
well, I think they're trying to get the double, but it.
You know, it just never curled. It coming that straight line.
No, it was once again, as you mentioned, that line runs pretty straight. And Cathy shouldn't have any problem playing this one in the rings. She just threw that draw shot that was into the 8-foot.
Yeah, it's running awful close to 23.
Yeah, we'll see. See if I can get a time on this rock and just.
Yeah, it'll be approximately 13.5 from hog to hog. Let's see what it is here, Bill. Just coming out of the delivery. Sweepers are keeping it clean.
Yeah,
it looks to be plenty long.
Yeah, I think she's pretty comfortable with her weight. They'll just sweep it lightly to make sure it's in the house. And as she said, it was about 13 seconds to the tee line.
15, a little over.
And she's got a little bit of backing.
What do you have there, Bill?
Well, I got that as 22.3. She had lots of weight for the tee line. So I'd say hog line to tee line, somewhere 23.5 seconds.
Yeah, okay. It's about normal. Come down this, a big shot here coming down, you know, for Cathy Borst in the rink. 3 points is something they really needed, especially on the even end. So they're...
That's right, Glenn. This is a big turnaround in the game. It puts Cathy Borst now in control of the game. She's ahead by 1 point. The pressure's on Shannon Morris. She has to score 2 points.
Yeah, score now 4-3 for Cathy Borst. Big end for it this time, but you know, really, like we were saying earlier, it's finesse, positioning type thing, preparation for that couple final rocks in the 10th end. So they just want to stay close. It's actually looking good for either side.
Yeah.
Both sides curling quite well. We're not able to have a statistician here on percentage shots per team or per individual, but from viewing from our area here, it looks to be very close. There's no big misses going on.
No, it's there's been no clean misses. There's been a couple that were not quite the shot that was called. Appears here that Cathy Borst is going to change the game up a little bit. Instead of calling Kate Horn's first rock out in front of the house for a guard, she called it in the house.
Yeah.
And she's saying, okay, we don't want to play this come-around game anymore. Let's play in the rings.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit of change of strategy.
Well, it does, and that doesn't hurt. And that's a good way to change an opportunity and maybe keep it on the flow of the game. If a momentum changes, it might help that flow, you know, in favor of Cathy with a shot like that, and that's what they're after. But yet, if you know, Shannon wanted to continue aggressive line,
well, she
and
could
later on we'll see that it'll probably be a drawdown on top of that rather than an open here for him to do.
Or she could have also, with that rock, played up a corner guard too.
Could have, yes. Yeah, forgot all about that. Takes it right out of play.
That's right. But we'll see how the end progresses. Looks like they're content to keep it clean.
You know, Bill, with our ABC people here on Channel 10, the fellows in the truck, we have a camera crew in the truck outside for our switching people, and actually Mike Anthony and Roy Houston are being helped out with Wayne, I guess, and they're actually helping us out in different positions here. So I want to pass on our thanks to their help. And
yes, they're doing a fine job making sure that we can be heard and seen. And
Team 10.
Okay, Deanna Shields rock, and she's rolled hers out of play. Well, I think I may have gotten that one wrong. I believe that was Shannon Hall.
Okay, no rocks in play on this one, Bill. We're back to open, so that strategy in the middle was just a diversion, shall we call it?
And yes, that's right. Now Shannon, she's calling the out turn here. Let's draw to the outside. See how they can hit out on the outside of the rings. Try and find a spot on the rings where someone may make an error and they may get a miss.
Mm-hmm. When you play the outside, you play that back and forth for a bit. If there is a miss, you put it over on the other side, and there you have your two. Is the strategy behind that.
Okay, I think Shannon Hall just a little strong on that one for a draw. I think she may have been thinking that on the outside of the rings that it may have been a little stickier and may need a little more weight, and she slipped that one out the back.
See, Cathy's strategy on this plane as a 4-foot is saying to Shannon, Cathy says, we'll put it on the 4-foot. Now there's nothing for you to draw around. Either you're going to hit it and beat it in the open, and I'll be able to get back at yours, or if you miss it, I'm going to guard that. So they want to keep it fairly close to 4-foot.
Well,
to keep the play in the middle.
That's right. Keep the play in the middle, and Cathy's saying, okay, for the first time in the game, I'm ahead. I'm willing to give you 1 point with last rock, and that puts me back in control again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So the control of the game switched that last end from Morris to Borst.
Yes, if there's an edge, it's just slight, but being in the middle here, it's not a pressure yet. A little anxious. Close. Yeah.
Well, and we're seeing whether this is by design or by accident, they're keeping the rings very clean. The shooters are rolling out. It's hard to say at this point, Glenn, whether that's the shots that are really being called, whether they want them to roll out and not give the other team anything to draw to or to freeze to.
Well, a shot like that, the only one that matters to is the statistician, really. The strategy of the game, they're just using up a little time here. Probably is.
That's right. This end, I think, from the way it's being played, is going to be like that first and second end. Now we're approaching the back end of the game. They're jockeying for position coming home with that 10th end. Who's going to have the last rock advantage in the 10th end?
Well, that's right. As far as Shannon is concerned, she keeps it open here for an end or two, so she can retain the hammer to try to come back with two is her strategy. So that's why she's keeping it open here. It doesn't bother her to have last rock for a couple ends here.
That's right, and she knows that probably the worst scenario that she's going to wind up with if they blanked all the ends from here to 10 was that she would get her 1 point in the 10th to tie it, and then let the chips fall in the 11th end, an extra end, to see who's going to win it.
Mm-hmm.
And Maureen Brown getting ready to deliver her second stone of the 7th end. And just a routine takeout.
Well, we got a minute or two here with the houses staying fairly open and neither team really wanting to be aggressive. Maybe I'd like to take this opportunity to pass on some thanks to the McDonald Island staff for the complex here, the use of facilities for the Northern Alberta Ladies Curling Association to have their district playoffs here in Fort McMurray. The staff is actually comprised of a number of people. The manager, Chess Dix, is also on the Alberta Sports Council, and unfortunately he wasn't able to be here during these playdowns. They have their meeting down in Edmonton this weekend, and he had to meet his obligations there. But the upstairs area, lounge and kitchen facilities run by Ramona is doing a really fabulous job of keeping, you know, some of the wants and services in order upstairs there.
Well, Ramona, for a number of years, Glenn, has been doing a great job upstairs in the kitchen and food preparation for McDonald Island Complex, or should I say the CA Night Recreation Complex, as it's officially known.
Well, yes.
but Ramona Morrison has been doing a fine job up there for years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and appreciated by just a great number of people, curlers and, you know, Bill, golfers in the summertime too, but that's another story. The ice people, of course, have done their part here.
Well, yes, they've been providing us with some pretty fine curling ice. I heard some comments from the girls before the game started. I talked to a few of them. Their comments are that our ice is great. We have a wonderful complex here, and I know personally I tend to brag this complex up everywhere I go, that we have one of the finest complexes in Alberta that I've ever seen.
Well, that's right, you know, and we have a fabulous gentleman here in town this weekend, Hector Gervais, who's been around the curling rinks for a good number of years, is what he says.
Well, he won't quite tell us how long, but he's been there longer than you and I have been, Glenn.
True. He's probably forgot more than you and I will be able to remember. But Hector is over on one of the other electronic media, going through interviews there, and that was one of his comments on our area, and I think it's something we're going to pass forward to other curlers and to compliment people that are in charge of the complex, and as well as the volunteers, Bill. You know, an area of this size actually lives on volunteers. If it wasn't for the volunteers on different committees and different, you know, areas that are needing it, it's just,
it certainly does, Glenn.
adds to it.
A complex like this has a large number of volunteers, as well as a venue like sponsoring the Northern Alberta Ladies Playdowns. This doesn't happen just because we have a facility. We have a lot of people in Fort McMurray that are willing to give a great deal of their time and effort to bring events like this to Fort McMurray.
Well, and that keeps our name forward, you know, the volunteers, but the athletes themselves, the coaches that are involved with it, keeps the knowledge there. There's people like, well, Ruby's husband, Randy, for example, with his years of volunteering to bring junior curling to the level that it has. You know, Randy's now on the curling executive with some of the excellent work that he's doing. What are we doing here?
Well, looks like Cathy's, she's just playing the hit. And whether she sticks around or rolls out, she'd just as soon stick around and force Shannon to hit it.
Force that shot.
And Shannon Morris is with her last shot here now. We'll throw an in-turn takeout. And she's, her plan here is to roll out of the house and retain the last rock advantage going into the 8th end. And hopefully she'll get her 2 points there.
Yeah, well, she has 3 ends here, Bill, to captivate those 2 points, and that's probably what her goal is here, and that's why she actually knocked out that first rock in the very first end that was on the forefoot.
Well, that's right. She wants to make sure that she is and isn't in control. She has the hammer. She has control that way. She's down 1 point, but she would like to make sure that if she's going to score points, it will be on the even ends, either end number 8 or end number 10.
Mm-hmm.
And in that way, she's sort of in the driver's seat. They're calling on the sweeping here. She may not roll this one out.
Yep.
Oh, there it is.
Yep.
That's a fine shot.
Yep.
And so we, after 7 ends of play, the score remains for Cathy Borst and Shannon Morris 3.
In the review here, they just keep it in clean mode. They're playing that shot to be hit and rolled out, coming down with her normal knockout weight, which is not out of control. It's not a stiff shot, just normal knockout.
She wasn't playing peel weight by any means there. It was just a good firm shot. The sweeper's lightly brushing just to make sure no debris could be in front of the rock to change its direction.
You know, actually, Bill, that shot was taken through Tom Keenan on the handheld camera, and it brings us our close-up shots. Tom doing a good job on these when it's being switched over.
That's right. Not easy with the handheld camera. Tom's actually walking up and down sheet number 12 here right in front of us.
Yeah. Well, Daryl's up on the camera upstairs, which gives you the long view down to the odd end, the scoreboard side of the ice. So
yeah, I'm not sure who he paid off, Glenn. He gets to sit upstairs in the lounge where it's warm, and the rest of us are out here on the curling ice.
Well, some people have a choice, and he might be on the controlling side of that, I guess.
Well, that could be. I don't know. We'll have to talk to Curtis about that, I guess.
Those fellows in the truck probably have the heater on too.
That's right.
Yeah. James is actually on the camera with the tripod, and gets the action shots going back and forth. More stable position, and actually one that brings up the expression. What's really coming into a tension-mounted game here?
Well, it appears that they're starting out this 8th end the same as the 7th end. Glenn, it appears that Cathy Borst has said to Shannon, no, we're not, we don't want to play your come-around game. We don't want to give you a chance to get 2 points.
Yeah, right into the forefoot.
Yeah, we're going to play in the house. The only way you're going to get 2 is if we miss, and I don't think we're going to miss. So this becomes a little bit of a cat and mouse game, and a war of nerves.
Yeah, it plays on that. I don't know how much it's going to bother 2 teams of this experience being around as long as they have. They've been through this several times, and that's why we're out here, why they're out here. The challenge of the game.
That's right. That's why these 2 teams are playing for the A championship. They're
well, really, when you put a team together, you're looking for a provincial winner, and when you start getting close to that, you say, oh, I'm world quality, and that's the carrot that hangs out there, and that's the aptitude you have to have, the attitude of a winner, being up in there and being able to take the challenges of pressure, keep your game and your game plan the way it's supposed to be, and that's part of a coach's role to enhance that attitude. Coaches have to be there and know each player to be able to forward that on.
That's right, and as we talked to the coaches before the game, Glenn, these girls have all been curling together for a long time. I believe I have a note here that Tara, Shannon, and Crystal have been best friends, or good friends, for the last 12 years. And that certainly is a big part of the game. To know what the other players on your team think, and when to give them a lift up, when to just let them alone with their thoughts. And
well, in knowing one for that many years, not only from a personal level, the knowledge that you have in delivery, that little tweak at the end just when you let it go, or those kind of things from a sweep standpoint really are the key to it.
Well, that's
a
right.
set of sweepers will pick up those abnormalities and know what they are and how to react to them. And Bill, that'll make or lose a game right before the skip holler sweep.
Oh, it certainly will.
It'll make a game.
Yeah, and
that's just from a number of years of curling with each other.
That's right. The longer you curl with someone, the more you get to know their little habits and things that go on. And most of your rinks that are successful have curled together for a number of years. They don't just pick a rink up and go and win the Worlds or whatever.
Mm-hmm. And as you bring that up, with the Pat Ryan moving from Alberta to BC, that is definitely an indication of that. It took him 2 years, and then the 3rd year is when they really got back into it as a team.
Well, that's right.
World curlers take 2 years, 3 years to accommodate to each other.
That's right. There are different styles and stuff. And Cathy Borst calling here for her third, Maureen Brown, to just remove the stone put in play by Shannon Morris. Actually, these games are difficult to telecast for Glenn, because it's a lot easier to surmise what the shot's going to be if there's 8 or 10 rocks in play than if there's only 2. And a great shot by
They're just
Maureen.
playing that clean game like we indicated here at the last end.
I think we'll see that for end number 8 as well as 9. And we may see Shannon Morris try to get something started in the 10th end. And Tara just being called on for the hit again. She calls her sweepers on right away. Now just clean it off. That's that spot in the ice that runs a little bit straight there with any weight. Change the shot.
Jockeying for position, that's called.
That's right. Try to find some spot on the rings that there's a little bit of a straight spot or a fall or a run that may create a miss. And Cathy will call for Maureen to just hit this and move the shooter back to the center of the rings again. She wants to keep
this delivery here, Bill, on that arm coming through. Yes.
Yeah, very steady.
Yeah.
And both Maureen and Cathy watching the line all the way down. And moves the shooter right back onto the center line. Perfect shot. And Shannon has to be condemned here to play this game. Cathy's in control, and Shannon has to either be very aggressive and at the beginning of the end throw up the guards and ignore Cathy's rocks in the rings, or be content to play the same kind of cat and mouse game.
Same concentration on that delivery as is, previously. Rock coming down the same mode. Maybe run a little straighter.
Uh-oh.
Just touched it.
That,
well, it's just one of those opportunities.
that very likely could be a big opportunity. Cathy here, she has a couple of options. She can either put one out in front and guard. She can play into the rings on the outside, or that last shot of Tara's here, Glenn, did she just flick that out, or it didn't curl, or
Well,
little strong maybe?
Yeah, we saw a close-up of her just when she was releasing that rock, and it looked like she might have rolled that turn out just a little bit. You feather it out, and then it'll glide.
That's right. If you throw it inside out, it takes a lot longer to come back in.
Yeah, because they were off it, all the way down.
That's right. That definitely puts Cathy Borst in control here now. If she can execute this shot, if she can steal 1 point this end, it really puts the pressure on Shannon Morris and her rink.
Well, we'll just watch this delivery here.
Let's see what Cathy calls for here.
She's going to come out with just a couple feet in front of the house. Coming out. Look to be good.
Yeah, she's playing it just to the center line.
Yeah, not too deep though.
Not too deep, just a perfect guard. Cover it. So that's a pretty good place to have it. There's no chance here for Shannon Morris to remove that now.
It's very tight.
Well, it is. It may force Morris to draw for her 1 point, which would take that last rock advantage away from her.
Well, I think the discussion here, Bill, is one of two. Do we remove that guard and force another guard placed, or shall we come in and just try to move that shot rock back to the back of the 4-foot for our second shot?
That's right. And she may get fortunate here, and if she hits that correctly, she could possibly run that back and take them both out.
Yeah, well, they've opted for the choice here to remove that guard, and then that's right, Bill. It does give you the choice of maybe running it straight back, running the split, or what the called shot is just to remove the guard.
That's right, and she has an opportunity here. She tried the draw shot now and was not successful. Cathy could just put another cap on it with another guard and really put her in trouble. This way she opens it up and gives herself more options for that last draw.
Well, Shannon Morris does have the opportunity to draw that 4-foot with her last rock, so it's not out of line at all here to remove this rock, and it does open up more choices on the second shot.
That's right, and these ladies have proven more than once in this game already that they're capable of drawing that button.
Oh yes, absolutely. We'll come down with that. She just wants to hit that, move it off, so let's review that.
That's right. You see the sweepers, the pressure they're putting on the broom head, just keeping it clean. They don't want the rock to over curl. She didn't have the run back for the double, so move the shooter out of the way and force Cathy to throw another one up front.
That's right, Bill. It's wide open now,
So what would you do here?
Oh, I think we'll keep the pressure on.
Play in the rings or play the guard?
No, play the guard, but play it tight to a 12-foot. If it wants to bite the 12-foot, now you're laying 2, and it puts it on a little more. But what it'll also do is probably force Shannon Morris to throw that draw.
Well, that's right. And
if you play the bump back, they're fairly close for the double and an opportunity to blanket. And
well, yes, Cathy doesn't want to get them too close together to give Shannon the chance to run the double and blanket. She wants to force her to take one, and which would tie the game up. And
well, it puts the hammer back in Cathy's spot for the next 2 ends, or the opportunity to take 2. So that would be Cathy's position in looking at this shot. I want to force this shot.
Well, that's right. She wants to force Shannon to take 1, or or steal 1 or 2. Yep. Even a steal of 1 puts her in a pretty good position. And the concentration on Cathy. A little glance down at the rock just before she releases it, and watch it all the way down the ice. Looks like she's got fairly good weight. The sweepers aren't.
She's going to be in the rings.
She may be putting. She's
move it back.
The tap. Well, that certainly changes the strategy a little bit.
Okay, from Shannon's point of view, that was the best of the worst, shall we call it?
That was
wide open.
Certainly the best that could happen. I think Cathy.
We'll just watch this happen again.
And I think the original plan Cathy had was to tap that rock straight back to the button, and it just didn't curl enough, and she raised it over to the outside, giving Shannon a good shot at it.
Yes, that's right. Cathy just wanted to move that straight back, just a 2-3 foot raise.
That's right.
Tighten up the draw.
And Shannon here choosing. This is the time where I have to take my 1 point. I'm not going to get 2, so I have to hit and stay.
Good firm weight, there's no doubt about it. Normal knockout.
A little bit of
sweeping, running straight.
Just sweeping it there.
Looks like a good rock coming down.
Oh, I think it's. She's got the hit and stay. She gets her 1 point. So after 8 ends of play, Cathy Morris 4. I'm sorry, Shannon Morris 4. Cathy Borst 4. Yeah, just look at Shannon's shot coming down here again. The sweeper's working on it a little bit. Not pushing too hard on the brooms.
No, cleaning mode.
Yeah, just cleaning it, make sure that nothing happens.
That's all she wanted.
So we go to the 9th end now, and
Bill, for our viewers, we haven't had an opportunity to watch what happens at the end of a delivery right on the rock. So our handheld camera fella here, Daryl, it's Darren, is going to try to view this for our
okay.
viewers on the release of the rock. So maybe you can just follow this through, Bill.
Okay. We missed that delivery. He's gone by us here down to the other end of the ice. It appears here that
Well, they're just called it short.
yeah,
They want it mixed up now.
Shannon's called that short. Anywhere across the hog line. She doesn't want it too tight to the rings because she wants to be able to come around it.
Yeah.
And so now the decision comes down to Cathy Borst. She cannot remove that rock because of the 3 guard zone. So she's calling for Kate Horn to throw this one into the 4-foot. Then, as John Forbes says, the game has begun again.
Both of them are going to be there. 9th end, we're both going to be there. So
Well, I think so. This is an important one. If Morris can steal one, she's in great shape. If Borst can count 2, she's in great shape. It all comes down to that. It's like a chess match, and it comes down to that 10th end. Who's going to have the advantage in the 10th end? Especially in a close game like this, and it's nice to see such a close game in the A final, Glenn.
Well, we expected this, Bill. The capabilities of both teams here, there definitely wasn't going to be a runaway. It was going to be a game curled, and that's what we're looking forward to.
That's right. And Shannon here is saying to Crystal, okay, let's come around the other way. Let's try and get in behind that yellow.
Well, if it sits right beside Cathy Horn's rock in the 12, no problem, but be
right.
close.
Yeah, it has to be in the rings, and it has to be hidden. I think we'll see most of the rocks in play this end then. And Crystal's rock coming in quite nicely. It's curling. Curling, the big thing she doesn't want to do is get behind the tee line. Oh, that's a fine shot
That's
by
nice rock.
by Crystal.
Yeah, fine rock.
She's
Cathy's going to have to manipulate a bit here now.
that's right.
That top one's got to come off so she has room to work in the house.
That's right. That was a fine shot by Crystal McLeod. And Kate Horn just being asked to run that red guard off the rings. Nothing fancy. She doesn't have to raise it straight back. And she rolls her shooter just off to the edge. And now comes the decision for Shannon Morris. Where do we go?
Where do we go?
She's trying to steal one. She's indicating that we'll remove the Yellowstone. If it's not in the rings, Cathy Borst can't count a point with it.
This is actually a challenging shot here, Bill.
Well, it is. It's a pretty touchy shot.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd want to
Well,
be too aggressive on that. It may come back to the red, but
well, it may haunt her. She's thinking about this now. They're going to talk about it. She's going to come down and talk to Tara and the rest of the team. I think maybe she's trying to steal a point here. It may be to her advantage to throw a guard up front on that center line.
well, like I was saying,
They've got one sitting on the button. Throw a guard on the center line and just keep throwing them. Steal your 1 point. That means the opposition needs 2 points in the 10th end to beat you.
Well, that's right, but this is the first rock. There's a lot of rocks to come.
Well, that's right. I'm not sure it's, personally speaking, whether it would be time to take that one out. That's got some rocks in play. I think a guard might be personally the shot I'd play, but we'll see what Shannon decides that she wants to do here.
Well, if Shannon plays to play it open, then
Well,
she says,
she's-
I'm going for 2. But
That's right.
Move like
Well,
she's
but-
calling here.
But Shannon doesn't have the hammer, so she's in trouble if go for 2. So I think she's just gonna play on the guard.
Playing the guard.
Play it safe. She's got 1 sitting on the button. Cathy Borst has to make some fantastic shots to get it out of there.
That's right.
And we know that she's capable of making those shots. We saw that shot in the 5th end with her draw.
Mm-hmm.
It was just light.
Yeah, it'll move in there with that in turn.
Oh, it certainly will.
Okay, we're just calling it up short. Slow up that draw a little
Yeah,
bit is the theory
just-
behind of it.
Yeah, just throw it up on the center line. Oh, looks like a fine shot. And it's covering the right side of the rock.
Cathy's going to have to remove that.
Yeah.
No doubt about it.
Yeah, she has to run that off. And if Shannon decides to play for 1, the ideal here is to just keep throwing guards up front.
You notice that call there? She was asking for weight and brought her hand up around her chin area. That'd be the area for normal knockout. And the question was, do I throw a normal knockout or do I throw a peel?
Well, that's right. They want to make sure that there's and they communicate very well. What kind of weight do I throw? Do I throw the normal at the chest? Is it the peel weight, or is it a little down from normal? That way, everybody knows what shot's expected.
You know.
And Shannon calling for the guard again.
She'll probably keep this up right to the bitter end.
Well, I think she's committed herself now. And Shannon Hall delivering her 2nd stone. Well, she might be a little strong with this one. I saw her float one through the house there a couple ends ago.
Don't want to be too long.
Uh-oh.
Well, she might like to do that again, but...
Yes, I'm sure she'd like to take that rock back. This opens it up for Cathy again. If she can hit and keep the shooter, just roll it in behind the Yellowstone.
More plays in rock here, or the more rocks in play here for Cathy.
Diana Shields with her stone. And
gonna do it.
Looks like
Just
she
a
should
little
get
roll.
nice. Very nice roll.
Nice rock.
Which is the end is turned around again, as we mentioned earlier in the game. 1 shot can turn a complete end around.
Well, that's... Watch this last shot here again, and a little roll.
Yeah, just a nice control weight. The sweeper's just keeping it clean right to the end.
That
A
was an
little bit of a roll in behind.
excellent call on Cathy's behalf. Watching that, the amount of curl on that to get it just in behind so it doesn't stick out either side. That was just an excellent call.
Well, it's very important as a skip and a third to be able to call line and anticipate when a rock is going to curl. If you wait till it starts to curl, sometimes it's too late. You can't hold them. If you anticipate that it's going to curl and it doesn't, it may not curl enough.
Well, the length of the sheets apart from each other, 110 feet, and to be able to judge it within a 1/4 inch on the striking of the rock surfaces, to have that
That's right.
judgment there is not learned overnight. It's a learning that takes years and a coaching ability to enforce that.
Well, I think Tara just threw that one a little bit harder than Shannon wanted it to. She wanted back ring.
It's the way it seems to go. A missed rock on one side is a double opportunity on the other.
That's right. And well, Cathy's saying, gee, the red rock's not in here. They don't have a hope of counting it. We've got 2 in behind cover. Maybe we should take it off.
Well, that's very, very assertive, to be able to
Well,
make that call.
she may have been burned by an opposition rock that she left in play at some other point in time, Glenn. If you're in control I kind of believe in her strategy there. If the opposition rock's not in the house, they can't counterpoint with it.
Absolutely.
And so she's calling for Maureen to remove it.
They're not rushing. very
She'd
hard. They're coming into it now.
like to roll that out a little bit. Actually, I think she called for it to roll the shooter away from the center, but the nose hit is okay too.
Oh yeah.
Cathy has the advantage of last rock. She's sitting 3. The pressure is definitely on Shannon Morris here. I'm sure that Shannon Hall would like to have that guard back to throw it, and probably if you asked her to throw 10 more guards, she'd throw 10 more guards for you right now.
They'd be there. Well, quite a discussion here between Tara and Shannon, where to place this rock, how far out, or whether in fact to come in. They don't want to leave it too long so that there's an opportunity for Cathy to draw around behind it, because there's still enough room on the forefoot for Cathy to get that shot. So they want to be fairly close to the one on the top of the forefoot. They want to be right down on it.
Well, I think with Tara's first shot too, there may have been a little bit of miscommunication there. I think the look on Tara's face when she realized what Shannon wanted. So they talked it over this time. Tara knows exactly where Shannon wants this rock, and we'll see where she puts it.
This would have to be a corner guard. Sorry, a corner freeze.
Well, she wants to just corner freeze or just tap it, but she has to keep the rock in play.
Yeah.
She has to have this rock in the rings. It looks good. Maybe a little light.
Well, Bill, it's what you call a positioning rock. It's a position for the skip to use next time.
Wow.
That's the reason for this shot.
That's a pretty well placed rock, because of the position behind the guard, it makes it almost impossible for Cathy Borst.
But we'll watch this one more time here.
Yeah, and ideally the corner freeze would have been the perfect shot, but
yeah, it has to be in front, because this is what I was saying. It's a positioning rock for use next time. It's not an offensive rock. It's a defensive position.
That's right. She's playing that shot a couple of shots ahead, as I mentioned before, like a chess game. She's looking to use that rock with her next rock.
Awful difficult there for Cathy to remove that.
Well, it is. If you look at the line, if she's wide at all, she'll hit the red stone back onto her own stone, and cause a turnaround in the end. It appears that we may have a timeout called here again for discussion.
A coach coming in to help out a decision matter here of which way to go. So really it offers an opportunity for both coaches to come down and discuss this next 2 ends. So both teams here have called a break.
Well, both the coaches
done.
out there, we can see Crystal McLeod talking with Shannon and the team and gesturing. Daryl Horn has come down now to look at the end and to give some advice to Cathy and the ladies, and see what strategies they should use.
That's right.
They're in a fairly good position right now.
Well, Daryl's got a year or 2 of experience here too, you know, Bill. Daryl's with the Alberta men's junior team that was up here in Fort McMurray in '94 to bring his team to a gold medal. Daryl has also been in the World Champions also, so you know, these ladies have some experience behind them and extremely good coaches.
That's right. Some very good coaches. Daryl no longer curls competitively due to a back problem that he's experienced, but he's still involved with curling. very, very active and at this level.
Well, they've made their decision, and
Appears that she's going to try to draw behind it.
she's going behind it. That kind of surprises me to go there.
Well,
Do you think it's going behind, or if it's going to be a corner?
well,
up on the red
she
one?
may be just playing a guard too. She's saying, I've got 2 rocks in the house. I'll just close the front of it up, and what are you going to do with me?
Here we come. There it is.
But can she guard the whole?
Well,
Can she guard the come around and the tap back?
it's not advisable to play 2 shots. You
Well,
play
no,
1, and your option, of course, is B. But
That's
play
right.
for that 1, and it's going to be about a foot short, is where the call is.
And hopefully make it difficult for Shannon to draw in. And
Marine's delivering her rock here. It's her last rock in the 9th end.
the expression that she has on her face, no different than she has had for any other rock. There's no emotion showing.
I think curlers make a good poker player.
This rock, I think, is going to go over curl, Glenn.
A little short, maybe, Bill, is what the reason was there.
Yeah, I think
It's a little short.
just her weight was a little short.
Yeah.
Curled more than they wanted to. They're indicating now that Shannon is going to have to draw in, come around her red rock, and
Well, there's room on the 4 there. There's no backing for it, so it's a cold draw behind guards.
well, that's right. The other option she has is if it does overcurl, she could wick off her red and bump over into the 4-foot behind the guard on the left. But that would be option D or E or F or G, somewhere down the line. It's not the shot that she's calling.
She wants to bring this action right on the 4-foot to take out a play those other 2.
Well, either on the 4-foot or she wants to be sitting up front, probably on the 4-foot. Because if she's not there, Cathy Borst is going to close the door on her. Just for line, the weight looks pretty good.
It's close.
Starting to curl now. Is it going to curl enough?
Well,
Or is it going to be too heavy? A little too long.
Yeah.
But if we could just get a shot of that, the house close up there, does she have 3rd shot in the house? They're looking.
Okay.
They're
Well,
looking at it very closely to see whether yellow is still sitting 2 or whether
it looks to me
Shannon.
like 2. Yellow's 2.
Yeah. So whether Shannon was able to get in there.
With that indication of the broom out front, just to block off that next draw.
Yeah. And
And
it's a
then
nice.
let's review that last rock again. Here we're coming down. Sweepers are right away from it. Right away from it.
They know it's just a little bit strong.
And it wasn't over far enough to sweep to get a wick off the yellow and glance it in.
No, just
Long there.
Just long. But
It leaves yellow laying 2.
well, we believe it's yellow laying 2. From this angle, it's difficult to tell, but we'll have to see what the final result is. It appears that Cathy is going to just try and put her rock up in the center there to block it off. If she has,
She just has to be
3rd
close.
shot?
12 foot would be great.
yeah, if she has 3rd shot, well, that's okay too. She just doesn't want to come in far enough to give Shannon any chance of freezing to her. Or tapping back and getting a little roll.
Watch Cathy here move out of the hack. Expression never changes.
No, actually, interesting note. Her nickname, I believe, is Barbie because for her expression and the hairbands that she wears when she's curling.
Sweepers aren't really into it. And it goes down. Appears to be coming in just about where they were asking for it. Doesn't break too much.
It's curling quite a bit.
Well, it's Not much room there, Bill.
There sure isn't.
It's a nice shot she played down.
Going to overtime yet, Mike. There's a screen. There's the roll. Oh, he's there. Oh, a little bit late. Got the ball anyway. Gets in. Oh, there's a bucket. Oh, unbelievable. Coil of rock.
And the first hit is hit by Chris. It's deep in right field. It's going. It's going. It's over the fence for a grand slam home run.
Chance now for the Oilers. Russell Sharp and they score! Take that, Craig! I got caught talking again.
Hey, sorry for the delay, folks. We're back at McDonald Island Recreation Complex.
Okay, we'll just review this last shot here, Bill. On this come around, and the idea was to block off the draw. You just want to put a guard. It has to be around the 12-foot.
And it curled a little more than she wanted it to. She left a little bit of an opening for Shannon, but still a pretty fine shot. It makes it very difficult.
Well, it's awful tight, and right now Tara and Shannon Morris are discussing what option they have, and it's very, that hole there is awful tight.
That's right. Their options. Well, looking, we've got the camera at the back there. I think yellow may only be counting one, Glenn.
You know, that could be.
That could make a big difference as to what shot is going to be played. That I think Cathy was trying to get that shot in there for second shot, and it just over curled on her.
Yeah, she was playing around that red yard, but option B, you know, to block it off on that center line was a good shot. There's room for a rock.
Well, I
Small.
think there's room for a rock there too, and if Shannon can get through that hole and sit one on the 4-foot, biting the button, Cathy may have her work cut out for her.
Okay, delivery being made.
We're having a discussion here with Steve. He's in the van. He says yellow's counting 2. We'll have to see.
Okay, we're coming down. It might be light, Bill. I think Shannon's rock is light.
I think it is.
Shannon's rock is definitely light.
Yeah, she had the right idea to get through that hole.
Yeah, the room was there too.
Well, it'll be interesting now.
Well, how can Cathy promote one more counting? Oh, she's.
They're looking at it. I'm not sure whether they're counting 2 or not.
It's close
at this point.
Well, we've had all our timeouts.
Well, the fortunate point is they're not playing with a time clock here, so that's not a key factor.
That's right.
They have been playing for 2.5 hours right now, so
a long game.
Well, it is a long game, but they if they were playing a time clock, I think they'd still have lots of time for that final end then.
Well, that's true, Bill, because we've had the 5-in break. We've had 2 coaches' breaks. So right there, it adds on about a half hour. So
that's right. So
maybe her shot here, or the only one left for Cathy to play would be to possibly raise.
Well, she's got a couple of shots. I think she can come around the one on the top of the 12-foot there, or if it curls too much, they can tap it back. Tap the yellow back onto the 4-foot
T-line
to
weight
get either 2 or 3 points. We're not sure yet.
Yeah. T-line weight is what they need.
Well, and Cathy's demonstrated that she has the ability to throw that weight.
I think they're still under decision mode.
Well,
we're not quite sure here.
Cathy's still...
they're discussing it with the lead in second.
Still discussing it.
Yeah, determining what's really going to happen.
Well, that's very important, too, for the skip to discuss with the sweepers just what shot that they're calling, because then that gives them the ability to know when to sweep.
Well, they're playing the straight, come around to the T-line. Cathy says, I'm not sure.
She's not sure. She's going to come down and have a look at it.
Let me check this out. Now, there might have been something there that was discussed between Kate and Diane, you know.
Well, that's right. Very often, you know, the skip and third are always given the credit for making the decisions on a rink, but very often the lead and second down at the other end can see a shot that neither the third or skip see.
Well, you know, that they might want to ask, did you talk about this? And if the answer is yes, well, then that it was something that might have been brought up that, yes, they did talk about it. So
yeah, and ruled it out, and that's why we're going with this other shot.
Well, she went down and says, what do you think about this raise instead of the draw around? So it might look different from the throwing position.
Well, that's right. Sometimes the shot looks pretty different from this angle, too.
Well, Cathy just took a little more ice, so we're going to come around.
Yeah, I think she's going to make the come around. She can get the second shot with the come around.
Nice firm delivery.
Final rock of the ninth end. Yellow's counting one.
They're playing the raise.
And
they're playing the raise now.
Oh, it looks like a fine shot.
It's going to stay.
Ooh, no, too heavy.
Oh.
I wonder if she was playing the raise there because they were only counting one, Glenn.
Well, she sure had to wait at the back of the line.
That's right. She was playing back house weight.
Let's watch this one more time. Here it comes. Now, there's no sweeping. You know, they've called the sweepers off.
The angle was very close. I would say she was playing the raise onto that red.
Yeah.
And
well, they're going to measure.
They're going to measure it now to see who has shot rock.
I believe you're right, Bill. Shot. They called that rock for an angle raise tap back to enforce that too. So we're still looking for which one is going to be the 2 or the 1 here.
Oh, it's going to be close. Just yellow definitely counted 1.
Yep.
We're not sure whether yellow or red is going to count the second point.
Well, Tara threw her gloves down. She says, you need help, Maureen. So,
that's right. Well, they dumped the measuring stick out onto the ice there. It didn't stick into the center button.
yeah.
Another important factor comes into play here, Glenn, too, are the rings in the center? Are they accurate?
They never had the measuring sticks out, you know, prior to the start of the game to
I didn't catch the indication there as to who had
no, they just pushed them off.
Who had shot.
They just pushed them off with no indication. Well, we'll just have to wait. It's for sure that Cathy has the 1 point.
That's right. She got the 1. Did she get 1 or 2?
They're hanging 2, Bill.
They're hanging 2.
Yep.
So, well, she actually did touch that red stone.
She did
with
move it.
With hers, it may have been enough. So we're down to the final end of play. With Cathy Morris trailing, I should say Shannon Morris trailing Cathy Borst by a score of 6-4. Shannon Morris has the advantage of last rock in the 10th end. She has to score 2 points here to take the game into an extra end.
And again, Cathy asked for that rock right on the forefoot.
But Shannon's not going to play her game this time. She's calling for a guard.
Yeah, play the corner guard.
She's going to ignore that rock on the button, play the corner guard, and hope to get her 2 points. She has to get something started.
Well, the strategy behind this is that I'm going to put the corner guard up. You can't hit it, so I'm going to put that guard up, come around behind it if I feel like it, or I can place another corner guard, and now I have 2 corner guards. And with them 2 corner guards, I'm going to put my rocks behind them, and I'm going to get my 2. That's what Shannon's thinking.
That's right. It's textbook curling. Throw up the corner guard if you have the advantage of last rock. And now Cathy Borst is saying, okay, we'll play the game. We'll throw a guard up on the center line because we've already got 1 sitting on the button.
Yeah, she called for that one top of the 4 foot or a freeze, and Cathy's saying to Shannon, now it's going to take you 2 rocks to remove mine, and that takes your double away from you.
That's right.
That's what's happening there.
And Kate looks like she might be a little strong with this one.
Well, 4 foot is where they wanted it.
They don't want to get it behind that tee line too far, though.
They didn't want to set up a nest, as we curlers call it.
That's right. Because I love nothing better than to throw into a nest where I've got backing, and I know you do too, Glenn. In fact, I've seen you make a few of those.
Well, don't tell anyone they want to get me on a Briar team.
Well, actually, neither of us made it this year. Hopefully, Joe DeRocher and the boys will do well going out of Fort McMurray to represent our curling club.
Okay, we have...
And Shannon's really calling them on to sweep this rock. It might be a little bit light.
Well, it's coming into the house. It's floating down there.
Well, I think it curled a little more than she wanted it to.
Curled offline.
But it's out front. If they can get a miss hit by Cathy, if they hit it on the wrong side, and it jams back onto one of the Yellowstones, it's to their advantage.
Well, Diane's got to hit this on the broom side just a little bit. She wants a little roll as a type of a guard. The main objective is to remove it completely. She might be swinging here the way they're calling.
She's calling it.
I think
she's got a nice shot, straight back.
Okay. Well, we still have that same shot that.
That's right.
Shannon tried.
She's indicating the freeze onto the one at the back of the 4 foot, or on the tee line. And that would be an excellent shot.
Well, it has to be in the 4 foot. I mean, this is the end that you look forward to when you first started, so it's got to be there.
Well, that's right, and the whole game is jockeying for position to either have the advantage of last rock, or be ahead several points coming into that last end. This is a fine-looking stone.
I think she made a nice rock here.
Oh, it's an excellent stone. Just taps it back.
If you were a scorer, would you mark that a 4?
I would probably mark that a 4. It's not the perfect freeze, but it's so close to the perfect freeze that how would you give it anything but a 4? Because as I've heard people say, the only way to get that out of there was with dynamite. Although we'll see what Cathy calls for Deanna to do this time.
No, she's playing firm weight, not much room.
No, she's not taking much ice. They have to move some rocks around in there.
It's hanging out, calling for clean.
Just clean it. Well,
okay, removed it. It's past the back of the 4 foot on the back of it, so
well, that's right.
A fine rock, you know.
Well, it was a good stone, but it now could throw the emphasis back to Shannon Morris if they can get another corner freeze onto that yellow. She's going for 3.
Oh yeah.
Well, Shannon, this is your chance to redeem yourself. Perfect corner freeze. And I'm sure everyone will forget about that guard from the end before.
Well, they're just cleaning. The line appears not too bad. Can't tell from this
looks
angle.
like the weight's a little bit strong again, though. Oh, no, looks good. Looks good.
A little long. She wanted to be more in line.
Just, well, about 2 feet heavy there.
Might be.
But it still makes it a tough shot. Cathy will call for Maureen to try and run both of the red stones out. You
Not
see,
much
it's
ice there, Bill.
no,
It's running awful straight.
it's running pretty straight. And the big thing, she doesn't want to jam that front red one back onto the back one and leave it sit there, because that still gives Morris a chance for 2.
Yeah. But it's behind the, it's behind the line. So.
Well, that's true. And Maureen, watching the line very carefully, just cleaning it.
It's right on the center line. It's getting maybe. They'll take that, a little roll to the other side, one on each side, move them behind.
That's right. Now what does Shannon Morris do?
Well, she's got to play it soft on that one on the top of the forefoot.
And just a little roll over?
Well, she doesn't want to go behind the forefoot here.
When you're following
Got to be stay.
Try and get one of them on the house.
It's not that bad of a shot yet to come around and freeze on that back one either. You're half behind the front yellow.
Shot when it's made in the house, it really is much better too.
This one's going to take a while, Bill, for a decision here.
Well, Shannon, this is for all the marbles here too, Glenn. Do we come down and corner freeze on this one, as Tara's indicating?
Well, I like that.
Or do we
You've
hit?
seen the ice.
Yeah,
You're half guarded.
Yeah, they know what the shot is. It's shot rock. It forces Cathy to go after it.
By placing a knockout or a tap back on the one there on the other side of the 4-foot center line, it's still in the open.
That's right, and she'd have to roll her shooter over, and it has to be absolutely perfect. There's no room for error on it whatsoever.
Yeah. And the more difficult, this is a higher percentage shot.
Oh, it's a much higher percentage shot. 'Cause the game's not over yet.
Well, just watch this delivery come through here.
Yeah, Tara concentrating, getting the mind set in her mind what shot is going to happen. And the delivery, very smooth release.
Yeah, they're just playing clean. Weight appears to be quite good. Sweepers are on it a little bit.
Yeah, they have to get it by that front one. I think it may have curled too much.
Moved it over. Now they can get at it. Actually, it's not what they wanted, but it's reasonable a little bit.
It would have been nice if that other yellow stone would have been pushed back, just so it was the red was beating it out. But the options are running out for Shannon Morris. Cathy Borst obviously has to be happy that she's in the position she's in.
Feeling good. Got to bring these rocks in fairly close. You don't want to leave a long guard. It doesn't, a long guard won't allow you to use that. You can't raise it with accuracy.
Right, she's got to play it close. She's got to. The big thing here for Cathy Borst to decide is to know what Shannon is going to do with her next shot.
Well, force her to play the least option shot.
That's right. To make her try and make the hardest shot possible.
So she's going to place this Rock Marines 2 to 3 feet ahead of the shot rock in the 4-foot.
Yeah, and even if it's a little bit heavy, if it freezes on it or taps it back, it's not a problem. If she leaves it out in front of the house, it could come back to haunt her. And they're calling that it's got to move a lot.
The weight is there.
And the weight's there for the house.
They're calling on the sweepers. They want that rock tighter. They want it into the 12-foot at least. To act as a good guard.
Well, it's a little bit short.
Well, it stops the hit and roll on there.
Well, it certainly stops that hit and roll, but the only shot that they have now is the tap up.
Well, Cathy might want to save that for her last rock.
Well, she may.
Probably want to draw around there, maybe tighten it in onto the house. Let's watch this last rock again.
Okay, I would have thought the sweepers may have got on it a little sooner, but
well, they were wanting to out here in the center of the ice, and they were being called off because of line.
Yeah.
The line wasn't there.
Well, that's true. It's one of those kind of you're between a rock and a hard spot.
Yeah.
What to call on it?
Well, the sweepers had indicated to to Marine that, or to Cathy that yes, that rock was going to be light, and that forced Cathy to make a decision. Well, if it's going to be light, I still want to have the line. So.
Well, that's right. To get half the shot at least.
Yep.
So. And it looks.
What's Tara going to do here? I think she wants to remove that guard.
I think she just wants to nose hit that. Straight back, remove the both of them from play.
This is Tara's last rock. They're just cleaning it. They're calling it.
Calling her on to sweep.
Moving.
Just by.
Missed it.
If they could have kept that rock straight, it curled a quarter of an inch too much.
Yep. Quarter, yeah. Let's watch this again, Bill.
And this, again, the anticipation of the skip, knowing when that rock is going to start to curl and react, is a key factor there. That rock just curled
about a quarter inch.
A little bit too much. Call your sweepers on 15 seconds earlier, and the shot may have been there. Now the decision up to Cathy and Maureen. Where do we go from here?
Well, Cathy's got to come right through where the broom is. Yeah, come right through there.
Yeah, she's saying just close that hole off.
Yeah. She wants to be in there, though. She wants to be to the 12-foot. She wants to keep it close. A long guard won't do it. It's got to be into that 12-foot, bite the 8.
Yeah, she has to get in there. There's no doubt about it. But she's got to feel pretty good coming down with 4 rocks left to play.
Well,
she's counting 2. She's at 2 points ahead. I know it's a position I don't mind being in when I'm playing.
Well, we didn't quite see it at the time with that 3-ender being a turning point such as it was. Those middle ends were quite aggressive, so that was a big end for her, and it's
definitely that 3-ender in the 6th was the one that made the difference.
Well, it looks like game rock, so they're coming down. It's a little short.
Well, yes, it is. It may curl too much on her. They're sweeping for all it's worth.
Do you think the ice is tightening up, Bill?
Well, it may be. Some of the games are over out here. We don't have as many people out on the ice.
Yeah.
Sometimes towards the end of a game, the ice does tend to get a little slower.
Well, the pebble's dragging down. The it tightens up with towards the end. That pebble wears down a little bit. It's just not there. You have to add on about a half a second.
Oh, that's right.
If this would happen to go into the 11th end with nobody out here, the frost level will come down a little bit more, and for sure it'll be a half second longer on the draw shot.
It will be, and she made a little bit of a mental error there. That's what the first one we've seen. I think the big thing, she didn't want to be too heavy.
No.
And that was weighing on her mind for sure. She didn't want to be too heavy. And Shannon's going for a tough shot here. She's going for the double. Or is it a tap back? Is she tapping back? Oh, it's hard to tell.
Shot.
Well, she may be tapping that front red one, trying to tap it straight back. She needs 2 points just to make the tie.
It's definitely not a draw. She just released it here. It's coming down.
Well, she's playing the tap back, but she's got to move some rocks around the back of the house, too.
I think she's playing an angle raise over on the shot on the other side of the 4-foot.
Well, that's a pretty tough shot. Nothing to this game, she says.
Is that right? That was an excellent shot. Shannon just had that right.
Absolutely
right there.
perfect.
Yeah. Couldn't be better. Let's review this. Coming down, the sweepers are not on it all the way down. They watched it and watched it. Excellent call on Tara's part. She had that eye up. And a little tap, moving it back, moves that off the 4-foot, just on the edge of it.
And thank you very much, Cathy, for putting that guard up there on the center line for me.
And forcing me into that low percentage shot.
Well, maybe that was the shot she had planned all along. She knew she may have known she was going to play that shot right from the beginning.
Well,
from when it occurred, she was saying, yes, play the guard up front, because if I make this one, I really put the pressure on you.
Well, the option's definitely there.
That's right. Cathy's calling for a little more ice here. She thinks her draw shot will curl just a little bit more. So we'll see what she does with this one. Shannon Morris certainly made an excellent shot with hers. We'll see where Cathy goes with her second one. Her first draw shot was just a little bit light.
Well, she wants to sit in the top of the 4-foot.
Well, she
bite
does.
it, cut down that draw.
That's right. And she's going to be a little heavy, I think.
Oh, she's sweeping it back to leave no nest.
Saying, get that out of here. Well, the option here for Shannon now is there's a possibility with this last rock to get her 2 points and force the extra end.
Let's review this last one again, Bill.
Well, it's Cathy just she come up a little short with that first guard.
Yeah, sweepers never touched it.
This time she said, okay, the ice must be a little heavier. I'll put a little more weight on it. And she put just a little too much weight on it.
Yep. She could have been short, top of the 8 or 12, but not bad.
Well, that's right. She leaves everything wide open here for Shannon.
Okay, we have the last rock coming down. Shannon just must put this.
Well, she's got to be. She's got to be half on the 4-foot.
Cleaning it. The sweepers are cleaning it. Weight looks good from this side.
Yeah, it looks good from center ice here.
Tara coming out to help. Tara coming out. So
they're all. Shannon's working on it. Just hopefully the adrenaline doesn't get too much. Looks like a pretty good rock from here.
It's coming.
I would say that's pretty nice.
There, Bill. Tie game.
That's a nice weight to have with your last rock, and have that much trust in your sweepers and everything to be able to draw a T-line with last rock.
Well, you made a comment. Leads and seconds are paying all that money. It better be on the T-line.
Well, that's right. That's why my team tells me that's why I get the big bucks. But
sweepers are working this last rock on this.
That's right. And Shannon right behind them. Encouragement all the way down. Tara comes out to help them. They know the line's good. Yeah. And they're
really working it there, Bill. Just pushing for all they have.
Yeah, they're working that rock for all they have to get it. They knew they needed full 4-foot. When Shannon let go of that rock, she said the weight's really close. So.
Take a break here. 10-10 break. Bill, we've got a 10-10 break here for a moment or two. Might just give us a minute to go get a coffee for about a 30-second or so.
Yeah, maybe we can do that.
At the worksite, we observe rules concerning the safe storage of hazardous goods. But what about at home?
If you own a firearm,
Is it secure? Store firearm only when unloaded. Use trigger locks when not in use. Lock firearm and ammunition in separate cases while not in use. Keep keys to firearm and ammunition cases away from all children. To find out more about the laws concerning safe storage of firearms or for FAC courses, call Gun Tech 743-9517.
Well, we're into the 10th. We just completed the 10th end with a fabulous first shot. That first shot of Shannon Morris's was just an excellent shot to keep him in the game. And she drew her last rock for the tying point, and now we're into the 11th end. So we set up the guard by Shannon. Shannon put that first one on top, and Kate Horn was asked to come down and just put it off to the side, and actually it's right out of play, so we only have Shannon's 2 rocks, and she pulled that short, called. She didn't want to be in the house yet, setting up guards.
No, she demonstrated with the 10th end she can do it with the last 2 rocks.
So what's really the strategy here now, Bill? What does Cathy Borst want to do here?
Cathy Borst wants to get it clean. She wants to play this end as clean as she can. She's got the last rock. And she's trying to run both of these rocks off.
She ran one off, rolled the shooter out. So.
Rolled the shooter out, but Shannon's still got that center line guard up.
You know, Bill, back on that first rock of Cathy's, that long guard of hers, it had to be in there. You know, and that really set up, or it forced that rock of Shannon's. She only had one option, and that was that raise. That raise back to the 4 foot to remove that out of there, that was about a 1 in 10,
well,
1 in 8. You know, opportunity to make that.
I would say the odds on that shot were a little higher than that.
A little higher than that?
The angle had to be absolutely perfect.
Well,
she must have an in with somebody to get those angles. And there's a fine shot. Right, just missed the guard. Come in, sit on the top of the house.
Yeah. Well, she's going to play these short to the top of the house here, right to the bitter end.
Well, she doesn't want to get behind the tee line for sure.
No.
And Cathy has no option. She's got to run the front off and get it opened up.
Well, that's the strategy here. Cathy's got to keep the open front end. She wants to be able to hit that 4 foot with her rocks, so she has to keep that middle open.
And Deanna just coming down, peel that one off. Make sure the shooter rolls out of play. You don't want the shooter anywhere out in front to give Shannon a chance to draw behind it. And she's going for the short guard again. Game of patience. Game of nerves.
Shannon Hall's just into her delivery here, coming down.
And you notice that Shannon's put her jacket back on. A little bit cooler out here now than it was before.
Well, it'll gradually come, yes.
Just throw it up across the hog line on the center line. And that's just about a perfect shot.
Yeah.
And once again, the score tied 6-6. This is definitely the final end, unless it's blanked.
Well, that could happen.
Well, it's been known to happen. I've seen games go 12 ends. And Deanna just being called to run it off again. She called the sweepers on that right away as soon as she threw it.
Yep, must have been just a tad on the inside.
A little on the inside.
Running straight.
And she peels it off and rolls her shooter off to the edge of the boards.
Okay, just want to place this rock again up in the centers. Shannon's just going to keep putting them right up there in the middle,
Yeah.
right through.
Be patient.
Yeah. You know, coming into the 11th end, Bill, here, it reminds me of Ruby's committee that has helped set up the spiel, you know, a year ago probably already. They're going into the 11th, just an excellent game, and it the same type of work that Ruby's committee's put on. They did a lot of extra little fun things for the curlers that come into town. They had little things, little mementos for each team to have and to remember Fort McMurray by. They have a number of activities going on, you know, throughout the 3 days of curling here to help promote the NALCA. So Ruby and her committee of 6 or 7 people here just really have to be complimented on.
Well, they do, Glenn. And that's an important thing, because we want these people to, when they go back to southern Alberta, which I don't think there's any of them from as far north as Fort McMurray, to have a good impression of Fort McMurray. And I know from past events that have been held here, the Arctic Games and other events, people are very willing to come back to Fort McMurray because they know they're treated very well. The committees that organize these events make sure of that, and we do have some of the best facilities in Alberta.
That's true. You know, with a TV 10 people in here like this, it's just got to be a real positive aspect. I know in my travels down south, we never had the opportunity to be in front of a quality, you know, setup like this with the camera crews, and you know, it's almost back to the professional side that you see on, you know, demonstrated in the Worlds and in the Champions, and it provides an opportunity for these players to be on camera, shall we call it?
That's right. And the thing to remember about ABC Cable 10 is that almost all of the people and all of the productions that ABC Cable 10 put on are done by volunteers. You and I have volunteered to do this part of it. The people who are working the cameras have volunteered. They're unpaid. They're not getting paid for that. And there we have Maureen Brown with one of the few misses that she's had this game. She's curled a very solid game all right up until this point, and this could be an opening for Shannon Morris. She left that guard up on the center line. If Shannon can stick it in on the top of the 4-foot, she's going to make it difficult for Cathy Borst.
Well, she wants to put this tight in the 4-foot.
Yeah, she wants to put that up on, well, actually right on the button would be okay too.
Well, yeah. I don't think...
this young lady's made a couple of nice shots in the 10th end. We'll see if she'll earn the big dollars here.
Okay, we got the rock coming down. Weight looks like it's there. Sweeping for line right now. A lot of room though, a lot of room, and it runs straight.
Yeah, actually it does. I think she thought it was going to curl a little more. There it comes now. It's going to curl.
It's not long.
But she's going to be long. She's in the back.
Yeah, it is so. It's long.
Well, that's an opportunity for Cathy now.
Well, she's got to come around, I would think.
Well, it...
Because that front guard is still there in the 12-foot, even if she does peel that long guard off.
That's right.
You know,
she's got to draw now.
You know, it just has to come around.
And Shannon's saying, it's okay. I've still got the one in the front that I can tap up.
Yeah.
And she's proven that she can make those shots. So what would be going through Cathy's mind here now, Glenn? Last end, she threw one up short, threw the next one a little heavy.
Well, I think she just got a little over anxious. You might want her to take more time there, because she was quite some long in the 10th end. But this time around, top 8, bite the 4 foot would be what she's really after.
Yeah, appears to me that she's got lots of ice cycling. It runs pretty straight. It doesn't curl till the end.
Well, that's true, but Shannon's rock finished well, and it hung there for a long time, so this is going to be close.
That's right. She doesn't want to leave a piece of this open.
Delivery coming down. Cathy's rock
looks fine. She's calling her sweepers right off.
It's hanging there.
She's saying just for weight. In fact, she's saying get right off it. And it's starting to finish a bit there now, but oh, I think she slipped that one by.
Yeah, you're right. She's long.
Well, another opening for Shannon Morris. And this one, she should have the weight this time. She was just back 8 foot with her first one. She can put this one, where would you put this one, Glenn?
Well, you want to leave just a little bit of it stick out, so that if you come down into the 8 foot, top of the 8, you leave a little corner stick out to protect the 4. And that'll will eliminate Cathy's opportunity to draw that 4. She's either got to move it off, or if she does move it, she's going to roll in the open. So she wants to leave just a tad stick out, but yet
top 4 foot.
Top 4, yeah. Long 8, yeah.
Well, let's see what she says. She's following it down. Sweepers are working on it, not real hard yet. She hasn't called them to sweep too hard. It looks like she's got pretty nice weight. Maybe a little heavy.
A lot of room by the guard.
A lot of room.
Yeah.
Now it's starting to curl. Bring it in. Well, we called top 4 foot. Either we didn't call it right, or she was 3 inches too light. I think the way they were sweeping it, she was 3 inches too light, and we called the right shot left. I mean, we always call the right shot from out here.
I don't know if we're behind the glass yet or not. They're the only ones that don't make a mistake. See, as I was indicating there before, this is almost in the the perfect spot. It guards the draw.
Well, that's right. It's close enough that she's got to be 4 foot if she's trying to draw. If she hits and rolls out, Shannon steals 2, and the game is hers.
Yeah. If she does hit it there, it's going to be in the open.
And if she hits it straight back, does it go back onto the other red, and does it stay shot rock?
Yeah.
So a lot of options. Shannon has played her last rock. This is, as they say, the one for all the marbles, and Cathy's saying no. Let's go to the open side, and all I have to do is have a piece of the 4 foot.
Yeah. Just
Very.
bite the 4.
You have to have confidence in your sweepers, and your ability to do this. If you're going to compete on the national or world level, that's a necessity.
Yeah. Well, the sweepers had 4 foot weight in their mind, and full 4 top. It had to be top, but it had to be in the 4 foot.
Yeah.
Right where it's at's not bad, but
well, I think if it was in the 4 foot, Cathy'd go after it.
There's room. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Shannon put that rock perfectly placed. Because it eliminates a lot of possibilities.
Well, Cathy's going to go down here to view this one more time.
Yeah, she's not sure of the shot in her mind. I think probably the last 3 draw shots she's thrown, Glenn, she hasn't made one. And that may be running through the back of her head.
Yeah, her confidence in that is not a lot.
Her confidence may be just a little shaken.
And the fact that she can probably see most you know, most of Shannon Morris's last rock here too.
Well, that's right. She can see it, and the only thing that may cause her a problem is if she jams it back onto the red rock at the back of the rings.
Well, the choice is going to be made here. There might be room to split them a little bit and still roll to the outside 8-foot B shot, take a double almost.
Yeah, it's a number of possibilities there, and
I think the draw is safer.
She still feels safer with the draw. It's
no, it's a percentage shot.
Well, that's right, and a much higher percentage, I think, than the other shot. More things could go wrong over there. Well, Kate Horn just making sure that there's no debris on the ice, sweeping it off. And Cathy coming to make her last rock.
The winner of this game has the first berth into the provincials. The B finalist as well as a C move on to the provincials. So there's 3 finalists here that go to the provincials. Okay, the lark is being delivered. Cathy's hauled off.
And she's called them off. The sweepers are ignoring her. They're saying that needs some.
Sweepers say it's short.
I don't know. It curled too much on her, Glenn.
Yes, it did.
And
now
that leaves us with a final score after 11 ends. Shannon Morris, representing Zone 4 from the Shamrock Curling Club. 7. Cathy Borst of the Otwell Zone 3, 6. So Shannon Morris is our A Division champion, and they move on to a berth in the provincials.
Well, that was a well-played game, Bill. Let's review that last rock, Bill.
Yeah, let's look at Cathy's last rock and see. She indicated earlier that she wanted them sweeping.
Yeah, the sweepers want to sweep. It's light.
The sweepers wanted to sweep it. They felt it was light. Cathy was calling them off. I guess there the sweepers were correct, and it just overcurled on her for some reason.
The weight would have been close by the movement there.
Yeah, I think she would have been close to 4 foot.
Yeah.
Just.
But this game goes to Shannon Morris. Shannon Morris will, like you said, represent Zone 4.
I think the shot that Shannon Morris made in the 10th end, that angle raised takeout, Glenn, was definitely the turning point of the game, and that had to be the key shot of the game to allow her to get the 2 points in the 10th end.
Definitely.
And then she threw that draw shot up in the 11th end, perfectly placed, giving Cathy no option but to try and draw 4 foot. And maybe in the back of her mind, she had that in mind, saying, Cathy's missed the last 3 draws. Let's make her make one.
Yes, that's part of the strategy of the game. You play on a weakness that had been there or indicated previously. So I think in all due respect, Bill, here we should probably close off. I want to thank our camera people, the people of TV10, for giving us the opportunity. And so from McDonald Island, there's the CA Night Recreation Complex. This is Bill Bowie. And this is Glenn Allard for the NALCA Final A event. Well, it's been nice working with you, Glenn. Very good. We'll see you later. Maybe we'll have another opportunity. Well, I hope so. This went well.